D-Generation CliX podcast with your hosts,
Who is Ravage?
Ryan Ruffman,
Ravage.
Hand me that bottle cap.
Miles Kane,
Hand me that paperclip. Grab that twine. Gum wrapper.
Daniel Schwab,
Best friends.
Asgard to mouth.
and Pete.
'Cause I'm just me.
Welcome back to the D-Generation CliX podcast. I'm your host, Ryan, and with me as always are Miles, Dan, and Pete. Miles, how's it going with you?
Pretty good. Had a long work day. Did my CliX League West, which I was a little rusty, but luckily.
I came in
like a fire rocket.
I never hit so hard in love.
Yep, so pretty good.
That's pretty amazing.
That's so good.
Unexpected. Dan, still sleepy?
No, I'm here.
Here and sleepy?
No, jackass.
Okay. Pete,
Yes, sir.
how are you, buddy?
I'm doing great. I had a weekend and a Monday full of clicks. I managed to finally achieve my goal of looking busy at work all day while not accomplishing anything today. So I would say I'm basically just being
Like a fire rocket.
Those are great days. We did.
if you just carry around a clipboard, nobody asks you what you're doing because they just assume you're doing something.
Oh yeah, I walk around with an iPad and a pissed off look on my face, and people just leave me alone all day. It's great.
Yeah, I'm like, whenever I'm on the job doing construction, that's exactly what you do. Is like you point and just look like you're moving with a purpose. They just assume.
Yep.
So yeah.
A couple of tricks of the trade right there. We did get some clicks in over the weekend, but I definitely miss being down there for H4H. So definitely will be there next year. Do we have any new? Oh wait, we did not check in with the goats, Tooth Grinder and Tooth Gnasher. How was Auxit for you guys? Oh yeah, I feel you.
That's kind of like a miserable experience.
It was
That was
rough.
definitely torture.
Auxit, the auction app that brought you the H4H auction for the last 4 years, finally had their last chance, and it did not go well again. So I don't think we need to get into a ton of details, but Scott Porter did make an announcement right after it crashed for the final time.
Guys, I can tell you officially on air right now, this is the last year we will be using Auxit. I'm telling you right now, we have had talks all weekend long. Unfortunately, Auxit is awesome for so many really, really cool things. I thank them so much and so generously for 5 years of donating everything. Next year, we will move to a new app. Next year, we will have a new auction site, and we'll be placed there. Hopefully, I can handle more items. But I do want to say thank you to Auxit. They've been here for us. They've been here with us. But we're just at a point where, we have had over 300 items this year in our auction. How incredible is that? Thank you to everybody who donated all of these items. We have companies outside of HeroClix, outside of WizKids.
Tooth Grinder and Tooth Gnasher, how do you guys feel about that? Yeah, very exciting to get a working auction for next year. I agree. All right, Pete.
I'd like to echo Porter's statement of H4H has just outgrown Auxit. Like there was so much going on, just in general. Like that, I was there the whole weekend, and H4H is huge.
Do you think Auxit, you'd compare it to a level maybe like a PBS local channel with 5 people? That was probably the level it's supposed to be at.
It bridged the gap while it was basically H4H now is I would consider it full sprint. You have people calling and trying to donate things. It's not like Porter or someone having to reach out. They're getting outside people. The easiest one I can think of is that Hulk statue that sold. That company just reached out and said, "Hey, we heard you're doing this. We want to donate." So Like Auxit was nice; it bridged the gap, but like now, with as big as it is, they're just going to need a larger platform to be able to make this work every year.
Yeah, they can do like 12 boosters in a night or something like that, but I think this was a little bit too much.
Like Porter said, they had 300. I think it was 300 or 350 unique items. It was wild how many. I think it was 300. Like how many items were up for bid?
Yeah.
I think it's great of a company to donate their time and effort, and I think it's good for the community for pushing this event this much. And I stand by Scott's decision, and I'm excited to see where it goes next year.
I think everyone's ready to move on. Speaking of moving on, Pete, how about that Bookwood report?
Bookwood Report.
Hello, friends. It's time for the People's segment, the Bookwood Report. Bookwood had himself a week last week, so this week he was a little more toned down, but he did make some purchases. Happy to report to you that our favorite local tryhard got himself a Caps Cookie Quartet, a Phoenix Pog, and some Smash and Destroy dice. He also was there on Monday, and he handed me a pretty solid beating while wearing the Magneto helmet that he brought to play Magneto from the X-Men Iconics set, who at $2.95 is a thing.
I did not get to play him. I had a bye on my first round.
You had a fun game the second round.
Usually he gets the bye.
Usually.
So I'm
round
surprised
2 or
that
3.
yeah. I'm surprised you took that round 1 bye from him because that's usually his. He probably wasn't happy about that.
He usually earns his bye, though, and gets it in the second or third round.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, the earned buy is different than the handed buy.
All right, this last weekend was HeroClix for Huntington's and ROC Cup. Dan was able to be on site judging and streaming. Thanks to everyone that did stop on the streams over the weekend and check out what was going on. This episode, we're just going to kind of do a breakdown of what went on during the whole weekend. So Wednesday was the Tracy Brock Memorial. Dan, do you know what sets were used for that?
I do not. I know they were very old sets. I just don't. I wasn't physically there at that point. I couldn't make it down there until Thursday, so I was not there for the Memorial opening event on Wednesday night.
Okay. Well, it was a lot of old sets then, I guess it sounds like. And we had 15 teams of 3 players each, and the winning team was Clay Wood, Ethan Jacobs, and Scott Crampton. Is there anything that you heard over the weekend about this event while you were down there?
I actually didn't hear a lot about it, but I mean, it was just going. I mean, the whole weekend was busy. I was up from, I think 7:30 most days, if not earlier, until like midnight, or one night it was 2 a.m. So it was full stop all weekend.
All right. Well, congrats to the winners of the first event on Wednesday. Going to Thursday, that was the Supercharged Sealed event. You were there for this one, though, right?
I got there late because my flight was delayed, but I was there for this event, yes.
All right, so this was 2 boosters of Smash and Destroy and 1 of Spider-Verse. Coming in third place was Joe Harrison, and then second place was Clay Wood, and then in first was Ant W. Looks like 41 people were in this one. Did you get a chance to see any of the teams played in this event?
Yeah, there was a lot of interesting stuff just because you had the mix of Smash and Destroy and Spider-Verse. So there was some pretty interesting teams that were out there. I think Ant actually played Spot, if I'm not mistaken, or I think he ended up pulling Spot actually, which was wild. So the funny thing was that for the that Porter versus the World event, they actually were able to record the teams. So I was a little sad that didn't end up working this way for this, because it would have been nice to have their supercharged sealed teams posted. So
yeah, the other events they have the teams in there. But yeah, this one did not enter the teams, so I do not have any info on what he won with. But he did go 8-0. Clay went 6-2, and Joe Harrison 6-1.
I remember Clay had Red Harpy, which was dope to see her do this well in this set. So
did you see what Joe had at all?
I don't remember what he played. I apologize. It was hard to keep track of everybody that was playing as I was running around the room.
All right, well, congrats to Ant W for taking the win on that one. I think he had a pretty good weekend overall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did. It was well deserved, though, I think.
And then Friday, this was the event that you were there. This was the first event that you were there for the whole day, right? The Scott Porter
Yes.
Invitational 3v3.
Yes.
All right, so taking fourth place, this was the 3v3 team event Highlander. The fourth place team was Giant Reach. First was Ethan Jacobs, who played Don't Touch My Stuff. This had the Collector at 200 with the Chimelian Flute, Motorcycle, and Universal Weapon. Also with Kevin, Avatar of Towerette, the Spider-Man from Black Panther with Mjolnir, and then Chair Panther with Avatar of a Tomb, Prime, Elsa Bloodstone, and then Shuri from Black Panther with the Lucas, PJ, and Scott Pog. Sideline was Canon Event Rivalry, Atum, Cathan, Mimic, and Towerette. And then he played with Michael Nelson, who played Closest I'll Get to Destroya, which was Prime Destroyer at 270, Diana with the Hell Cycle, Harley Quinn with the Bloodstone, and Perdegaton. His sideline was Diabolical Bargain, Heimdall Sight, Ares, Desire, Gaia, Odin, Cinder, and Thori. And then they also played with Cornelius, who played a team 3v3 400 Modern Rock. This was Wakanda Hulkbuster at 125, Hawkeye and Hawkeye with Destroyer armor, Caveman Wally West with the Longsword, Reverse Flash with the Crimson Gem, the Kooky Quartet Captain America 25 with the Team Up card and Bucky's arm, the Scarlet Witch from the Kooky Quartet, Moondragon from Collector's Trove, the Pog, and then the 4-point Scott Crampton bystander. His sideline was Fortify, Black Panther, what is this one? Oh, from the 400
Zeus.
set, yeah, Zeus,
Right.
and then the Treasure Chest.
They had themselves a day. They went 5-1 with 4,800 points.
Mhm.
That's a great
Yeah,
day.
and I have to actually correct you on Michael Nelson's team name. It's called Closest I'll Get to Destoria. And Destoria is the last Heisei Godzilla movie from 1995. And so Destroyer's essentially being that because he's a Godzilla fan. So I had to make sure to get that reference in. Saying, try and correct us.
Well, thanks.
Yes.
Who took third place?
Third place, we have Slam, dun 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 dun, let the boys be boys, with Luke Scheffenacker, Brian H, and Ant W. Luke had Hidari Oasis and Animals, which was Hidari Yao at 100 with the Universal Weapon, Colossus Prime with the Glider, Butterfly, Kong at 50 with Khonshu, Shuri with Avatar of Bast, and Timebreaker Pog. And his sideline was, for his butterfly swaps, was John Constantine, Myrn, Wonder Woman, and Legacy Ace. And he also had Canon Event and Rivalry. And then his partner, Brian H., he had Wakanda Hulkbuster, Spider-Man, Gauntlet Spidey, Caveman Wally West with +1 Longsword, Reverse Flash with Stormbreaker, War Machine at 30, Kooky Cap Team Up at 25, Quicksilver Kooky 25, and Perdegaton at 20. And he had Beetlejuice and Black Panther on his sideline with the phone booth. And then Ant's team, which was Brainstorming. Yeah, which is Ulysses with Bloodstone, the Spot with Hell Cycles, Zala with Crimson Gem, Kevin with Towerette, Black Panther Legacy with a Tomb, Elsa Bloodstone Prime with Trick Arrow, Kooky Scarlet Witch with Dream Ruby, and Copycat, as well as Legacy Daredevil with Stormbreaker and Lucas, PJ, and Scott Bystander. And then his sideline was Mimic, as well as the Tomb and Towerette, Unstoppable, Pim Particles, and Fortify. He also had the Nifty Traffic Barrel, Laser Cannon, and Vibranium. So I just want to say, so far we've seen one glider in top 4. So
Yeah.
that's good.
We're high on the glider.
Glider's good.
Glider's good. Glider's good.
So you've
Remember we
had a
talked about
destroyer.
this,
You've had a
glider.
destroyer armor and a glider though. So you're 1-1
Yeah.
right now.
Yep.
Okay. Joe Harrison and Nicholas Madison risking it all to team with Kenny Minks and still managing to take second place. Dan, do you want to tell us about their teams?
I mean, they hard carried him, so you know. So I have Nicholas Madison with he shoots, he ports, he dies. We have Hidari Yao with Universal Weapon, Swamp Thing with Avatar of Khonshu, King Jefferson with Ethereal Armor, the Spot with Hell Cycle, Chair Panther with the Dream Ruby Copycat, and then a Lucas PJ Scott Pog with Avatar of Atum, and then sideline was Fortify Rivalry Atum Conchu Midnight Angel Mimic, and he played Nifty Barrel. Yes, good choice.
It also says that Joe forced him to go to Alabama.
Apparently, I just had him at gunpoint or something. I don't know.
So it says on his team name. So
So yeah, he did pretty well. He fell at the gates. I got to see his final match, so that was very interesting. But it was a good team though. Next is I believe this is Kenny Minks, catching hands from the past. So this is Wakanda Hulkbuster, Ulysses Bloodstone with the Bloodstone, Caveman Wally West with a +1 longsword, a Flash Raptor, a Reverse Flash with trick arrows, Captain America with Mjolnir, the Kuki Quartet one, and then Perdegaton. Sideline was Mind Gem, Diabolical Bargain, Pim Particles, Ares, the Gauntlet Panther, the Wakanda 400 Panther, Poseidon, and Treasure Chest. And then finally, we have Joe Harrison with Banned Ghost Rider in silver. Time to double down. And then so he played Spirit of Vengeance Red Hulk with the motorcycle, Colossus with the Destroyer armor, and then the O48 Rider with Crimson Gem, and then Kevin with Taweret, Chitari Pog, Daredevil with the Flying Carpet, and a Timebreaker. So Spirit of Vengeance is actually great, by the way. Like, just throwing that out there, because there's an interesting interaction with Beholder, who's on his sideline. Because when Beholder pops out, his stop click activates, and his stop click is the first time this click is revealed after resolutions, the turn ends.
That is pretty good.
yeah,
So if you hit him to the stop click, you just pop Beholder, and you're like, all right, turn's over, back to me.
So when you're looking at it though, Beholder isn't unique, so you can drop 4 Beholders as your sideline pilots.
I know. But so sideline was Beholder, Peach, Chthon, Scarlet Witch, which was that was the pilot for O48, Taweret, the Collector's Trove Thanos, the Deadpool Wolverine, the Phoenix Wolverine, and then a Zombie Scarlet Witch. And Wolverine has another funny interaction because his stop click is also great when he pops out. So it's when this click is first revealed, choose an opposing character within 3 squares and roll a d6. Deal that character penetrating damage equal to half the results. You just are a bomb. So Vengeance is pretty dope. I really like it. I want to give it a go because that seems like a wildly fun time. So
Yeah, I got to play him a couple weeks ago, and him just dropping the people down on their last click was very, very cool.
yeah, so I really like this team, or at least I like Vengeance for sure. So it was cool, and he played it well too. I got to see 1 or 2 of his matches. It was very, very effective.
All right, then Pete, do you want to tell us who won?
I do. The party's name is Phoenix Nest. The players were Lucas Van Hollen, Alex Mader, and Isaac Denke. They were 7-0 with 5,104 points. And we got the first team, appropriately named H4H Teams, in parentheses Isaac. He played the Collector, Captain America Shield, the Motorcycle, Universal Weapon. He played Prime Panther with the Biogram image. He played Kevin with Avatar Taweret. He played Legacy Panther and the Moondragon Pog. His sideline was Cannon Event, Fortify, Midnight Angel, and Taweret. And it looks like he did not have a barrel. Going to Alex's team, appropriately titled H4H Teams, in parentheses Alex. Hawkeye and Hawkeye. Batman from Masters of Time 032. Caveman Wally West with the Longsword. Zala Jor-El with the Crimson Gem. Reverse Flash with the Flying Carpet. Druid Legacy. Kind of fun. Captain America from the Kuki Quartet, the team up. Quicksilver from the Kuki Quartet, Perdegaton, and a Timebreaker Pog. His sideline was Rivalry, a bunch more Batmans, and a case of Q's questions. And we still have not yet seen a barrel. And finally, Lucas played, appropriately titled, H4H Teams, in parentheses Lucas. Sleipnir at 60. Avatar Gaia, Freya with the trick arrows. Thor, the Stormbreaker, the 50-point. Tooth Gnasher with the Destroyer armor. Tooth Grinder with the Hell Cycle. Captain America from the Kuki Quartet with Mjolnir. Timebreaker.
No, it's Pegasus Cap.
Oh, I'm sorry, it is. Yes, I apologize. Pegasus Cap with Mjolnir. Timebreaker, Spirit of the Game, Copycat, and a Legacy Daredevil, and his no barrel. But the final count, if you were following along at home,
he has the barrel.
He has the barrel.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
The barrel.
3-1 Destroyer armor versus The Goblin Glider.
Well, it's because they're each one so far is being able to be played for free.
Does that change the fact?
No, just saying. It's just they're played for free. You're not paying 15 points.
No, I would still pay it. Okay.
Just saying.
Yeah.
That Freya is awesome. Freyja, excuse me.
Fraser Crane.
But congrats to Lucas, Alex, and Isaac for taking first in that event, going 7-0. The meta breakdown, though, I thought was kind of interesting. What would you guys say the most played main force piece would be?
Without looking, see, this is gonna be tough. We're gonna go with Timebreaker. I'm gonna look at it right now. What is the main force?
Are we doing popularity or win
By
percentage?
popularity.
Okay. Yeah, I saw this coming. That was funny.
So in first place, what's that? No, Kevin was second. This was.
Oh, I would have said Kevin, but okay. What was it?
So 28 teams, 18 had per Degaton. We have 16 with Kevin. The new copycat bystander was in third on 16 teams. And then Chair Panther was in fourth with 14 teams. Prime Colossus was in fifth at 12. Collector at 12 teams. Spot was at 12 teams. Lucas PJ Scott Pog on 10 teams. Caveman Wally West on 10 teams. And then Hidari Yao was on 10 teams. And what about...
She's back.
What about Sideline?
Well, when you're doing 3v3, you have to. She'll be on teams.
Yeah.
I mean, this is also an easy one, but
So
I mean, at Sideline, you're talking a Mimic, because Mimic has to be on a sideline. I'm going to say Mimic's on all sidelines. On every team.
you would be correct.
yeah, 28 teams.
Oh, yep.
Mimic.
Yeah.
Then we have Ares was in second with 21 teams. Cathan was on 20 teams in third place. Beetlejuice 20 teams in fourth place, and then Rivalry and Fortify both 19 in fifth and sixth. Towerette was on 18. Cannon Event 18. Khonshu and Gaia were both on 17, and that's the top 10 for Sideline. And then what do you think about equipment?
Well, did you look at Mimic? So it's on every single team, and the win percentage is still above almost 60% on every team, which is insane.
I would guess +1 longsword.
You would be correct, which was on 23
Yeah,
teams. Actually, I'm surprised that that's not higher.
It just depends, right? Like if you're not playing the character with the keywords, then there was enough, I think, figures on certain teams that just didn't have the keyword.
Yeah, but 400.
Well, yeah, Glider has Glider or Destroyer is just and Glider, it's not even close at the moment.
No.
20-8.
Yeah. Glider had a higher win percentage rate than Destroyer Armor. But that's because obviously the Destroyer's on more teams, so you get closer to the 50% marker once you're on enough teams.
Yeah.
And then going right down to Hell Cycle was in second place on 21 teams. And then Destroyer Armor was on 20. Universal Weapon 19. Avatar of Towerette was on 18. Avatar of Khonshu was on 17. Gaia was 16. Bloodstone was on 15. Crimson Gem was on 15 teams. And then in 10th was the Bucky's Arm on 14 teams.
Barely missing the top 10 with the motorcycle. So close.
I'm surprised some of these aren't higher, honestly. Mjolnir?
I'm actually surprised Gaia
where's
is
the
that
Bloodstone?
high, honestly.
Bloodstone's
Only
8th place.
only on number 8, yeah.
Trick Arrows in 13th place? That's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to say, too, of the teams that we read, Trick Arrows on Reverse Flash is a great idea.
I'm still pretty surprised that it is that low, though.
I mean, I'm surprised Gaia is as high as she is. I was surprised she was on 16 teams.
Yeah.
To be honest. I was like, wow, that's a lot of teams.
Well, with Asgard being so big now, it makes sense.
All right, and then moving on to Saturday, this was the Scott Porter versus the World event, which was the singles sealed event with Smash and Destroy. They had 110 people show up for this event, and 4 out of the top 5 teams were Destroyer Prime. So to me, that kind of sums up how the event went. Dan, do you want to add anything about this event?
Yeah, I mean, there was 7 pulled, and a bunch, I think 2 didn't make cut, and 1 got beat. out of cut.
They were in
But
fifth.
yes. So, but it was. I mean, it was just, and a lot of honestly, I think it was because of the mulligan, because you could mulligan, and a lot of people that pulled Destroyer Prime mulligan to get as Guardians. That was the thing, and it was who had the best setup, and this guy that won had the best setup because he had. Are we gonna go over the top 2 or top 4?
Well, we can go over. I'll go over the 3 of the top 4 real quick. So someone had Destroyer Prime, someone had Destroyer Prime, third person had Destroyer Prime, and then do you want to go over the 4th one?
Is that
Anyone?
They Destroyer Prime.
No.
No, I mean Isaac. Yeah, he played Rhino with Wrecking Ball, Constrictor, Zazax, and double Thori at full, which was actually genius. So that was pretty dope. I will give it that. That was a very, very good strategy. Because
I'm surprised that they must have just not been able to pull anything for support. So he just played Destroyer by himself.
a lot of people did. I mean, you only get the 30 points, right? So yeah, but a lot of people just played him out, and because they had good sideline. Like, I mean, Jalen had Pile Driver and Valkyrier. He actually played Desir, so he was a full 300. I think Nick Madison was. So he had Heimdall Sight and You Wouldn't Like Me When I'm Angry, and then Valkyrier. So he had 2 one-shots, which were great. Because, like, you pop Heimdall Sight, and you just hypersonic, shoot from 8, and then retreat. Like,
yeah, he's phasing for free.
Yeah. And then...
So disgusting.
What was it? I'm trying to think. Who was the... Oh, and the third one also had Heimdall Sight. And then... Oh, but he actually played a Los Diablos soldier for enhancement, which wasn't bad. But, I mean, again, the one-shots came in big. Like, a Destroyer Prime having an 8 range is huge. Like, especially on your, like, opener. Because you're just so safe with that.
That many Heimdall Sight pulled with the Destroyers is insane.
I think that was because of the mulligans, honestly. Because you could mulligan. So that's why.
Yeah.
I think that's what people did.
They got one booster and they just kept mulliganing the same booster.
I'm not sure how many times you could mulligan. I don't know if it was you could only mulligan once. But
because if you mulligan one booster, I think you should have to mulligan both boosters.
Yeah, they
usually
they
both. They can choose one.
They got to choose one. Yep.
That's insane.
Wow.
So I think that was a lot of it.
Usually that's how it is. That you mulligan your 2 boosters.
Yeah, entire set. Yeah.
110 people is amazing. That's an amazing turnout.
It was a packed house. Like, it was like we really stretched everything out to make sure everybody had enough space to play.
3 people that did play the Destroyer that made first, second, and third. Brian Perez won the event. Jalen Major came in second, and then in third place was Thomas Castile. And then Isaac was the only one that made the top 4 without playing Destroyer Prime, and that was the one that we went over.
And then Brian Perez's only loss was to Destroyer Prime that didn't make cut.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
congratulations, Brian.
Yeah, congratulations, Brian.
That's crazy. So he went 5-1.
Yeah, and then all the way to the end.
No, I'm talking about the Ken Minton. He went 5-1 and didn't make. What was it cut to?
He didn't have a lot of. Well, he had points. I don't know what happened there. Yeah.
Wow. So he lost in round 6. So is okay. So he was undefeated going into cut,
and then he lost. Yep. Because he had a packed sideline too, because he had both he had Heimdall Sight and You Wouldn't Like Me When I'm Angry, and then a Desir and a Valkyrie.
Okay, no, he lost to Chase Captain America. Okay, that makes sense.
That's one of the good ones that can actually deal with him.
Yeah. That's wild.
No.
All right, and then going on to Sunday, this was the Silver Championship. They had 67 players. Smash and Destroy was not legal for this event. So Silver is going to change a little bit when Origins comes around in about a month, but still figured we'd go over the top 8 just to see how things played out at the event. So because I was not there, Kenny did make the top 8. He played Blades of Glory with Zombie Scarlet Witch with the Liar Ring, Prime Wonder Woman with the Green Lantern Ring and Utility Belt, Myrn with the Emotional Modifier, the Pegasus Captain America with the Longsword, APOC and Genesis with the Sword Bearer traits, and then the Black Shirt Scott Porter with the Darkhold and the Copycat Pog. His sideline was Fortify, Pim Particles, Rivalry, Ares, Black Vulcan, Brainiac, Gorilla Grodd, and Scrappy Doo. I think one of the things that you're going to notice as we go through all these is how different, relatively different, all the builds really were. Do you want to take us to 7th place?
Yes, in 7th place we have the Bridesmaid of Worlds, Nicholas Madison, with Villain of the Week. It's a scientist theme. High Hopes Harrison, that's what it says. Prime Swamp Thing with Khonshu. Spot with Hell Cycle. Sakarian Iron Man with Cloak of Levitation. Spot with Trick Arrow, which is the SVAC one. Chief with Emotional Modifier. Scott Porter, Black Shirt or White Shirt with Blue Lantern Ring. Cadmus Lab Scientist with Influence and Zero Ring. Copycat and Lucas, PJ, and Scott. His sideline was To Be My Hammer, Canon Event, Rivalry, as well as Undertaker, because Undertaker has to make it. And then...
so that was for Sakarian, so he could actually pick WWE powers.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. If you have even on the sideline, which is so dumb that you can pick WWE powers.
Yes, that's what that was for.
Okay. Makes sense.
They can be on the sideline.
I totally forgot about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought you had to
part of your force.
Wow, I thought you had to at least play the ring for 5 points on your force.
Nope, you can just have a guy on your sideline.
Wow.
Yeah.
And that means you can do it with Spirit of Vengeance. He could be a sideline option, or like, is it Kane, or is it just him and Finn Balor that are mystical or monster?
I
think Kane's a monster too.
Yeah, Kane's a monster. That's probably it.
So you could take any of their attack or damage powers for the Vengeance then.
Mm-hmm.
In silver only, but it's doable.
You can't do it in modern?
Yeah, you totally can. I'd like to see you try.
I'm surprised that more people did not try to do this spot and spot trick.
Yeah, there was. Cody played it, but he got
Well, Cody was judging, wasn't he?
No, he played.
Oh, okay.
So it's still only 2 people. I expected a lot more people.
Cody's way down in 33. So 6 is Ant. He played something old, something new. So we got Juggernaut with the Crimson Gem from Collector's Trove. Carnage Silver Surfer with Avatar of Khonshu. Sakarian Iron Man with the Cloak of Levitation. Spider-Ham with Stormbreaker. Genesis with the +1 Longsword. But this is the obviously it's the grand prize. Venom Mags with the Darkhold. The Black Shirt Porter with Zero Ring. The 10-point Colossal Carnage. A Daredevil with the Bloodstone and Scott Lucas PJ. Sideline was Fortify, Rivalry, Black Vulcan, Brainiac, Gorilla Grodd, Khonshu, Mimic, War Machine. Pretty solid team. I don't know. It's like, what do you deal with first?
Yeah, everything's going to be kind of in your face pretty quick there. Carnage Surfer, Juggernaut, and Sarkarian to follow.
And then they all have plasticity, and you can't shoot them if you're within 4.
Yeah,
if they're within 4 of you. That's wild, especially with something like Juggernaut. It's like cool.
Jalen played in 5th place. He has Arachnite Go Burr. He played Spider-Man family. He had Arachnite with the Skybreaker. Arachnite was 60. Ashley Barton from the most recent Spider-Man set with Emotional Modifier.
That's
Miss Marvel. AV60 Miss Marvel at 50 points with Trick Arrow. Saki with the Cloak. Kevin with the Avatar Tarot. Madam Web.
Yeah.
No, actually the classic Madam Web.
It's the classic.
Yep.
I believe that's Black Shirt Porter.
No, that's Web. That's Madam Webman. The legacy is Madam Web. This is Madam Webman.
Scott Porter, Marvella, Copycat Pog, and the Pim Pocket Tank, which is always fun to see. His sideline was Pim Particles, Rivalry, Prime Absorbing Man, Ares, Gorilla Grodd, and the Pim Particle Tank, and Scrappy Doo, and Towret, and had Glengrove Cemetery, King's Tomb, and Major Brock's Bunker.
All right, then moving to top 4. This was Scott Crampton. He played the Spot with the Cloak of Levitation, Carnage Silver Surfer with the Avatar of Khonshu, Cosmo with the Emotional Modifier, Spider-Man with Mjolnir, Jennifer Kale, Batman, the Prime Batman from Batman Team Up with the Green Lantern and Utility Belts, Leech with the Angler, White Shirt Porter with Sinestro Core Ring, the Avengers Affinity Groot, the Wendigo from XDPS, the new Copycat Pog, the 5-point Timebreaker, Lucas, PJ, and Scott Pog, and the 5-point Boxing Ring. So this is just a cheaper way, I think, to get Spot to do his trick, right? Because now you have the the cloak to move you for 5 points instead of 15.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's all it is, yeah.
And then turn off powers. Not bad. I did not get a chance to see this team. I saw him play his Worlds team, or the 3v3 team. Did you get a chance to watch this one at all with Spot?
I mean, it was. I don't remember if he went for the kill box strategy. I think that's basically what he did. Crampton doesn't like coming out of his starting area, so I think that was the biggest thing. Was he would just move and then bring Spot back and hopefully yoink somebody along with after getting his marker out there, and then bring them over if he hits with the flurry. That's what he's got rivalry for. Is just the auto hit.
And then turn off powers with Leech and Cosmo.
And then Kale, so you can't mod your stats either. So you're just, all right, I'm here.
Not bad. All right, Miles, what about third place?
In third place, we have Lucas with Hawk Avengers, who actually lost his first game in top 8, so he was 7-0 going into top 4. And into top 4. I mean, he was 7-0. So his Hawk Avengers consists of an Avengers theme team. Hawkeye and Hawkeye with Influence and Lightning. Sam Cap from Disney Plus at 50 with Mjolnir. Miss Marvel with Trick Arrow from AV60. Sakari and Iron Man with Cloak. Swap Cap. And then you have Kooky Quicksilver. Kooky Scarlet Witch. Black Shirt Porter. Copycat. And Pim Pocket Tank. His sideline was Canon Event, Rivalry, Legacy Ant-Man, Black Leopard, Manifold, Miss Marvel, Pim Particle Tank, and the AV60 Spider-Man. So he's the one thing I'm pretty sure he's doing is he's swapping out that Captain America with a free Mjolnir to give Black Leopard Mjolnir, just so he has improved targeting characters.
Oh, okay. That makes a lot more sense then, because I kept looking at him and I'm like, I do not know what this guy's doing for this team. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. It has to be that, and then if he's like indoor or whatever, like there's a lot of blocking, like outdoors, maybe you're gonna bring Ant-Man in instead of Scarlet Witch or someone like that, potentially. That make him giant, but yeah, that's. I didn't really get a chance to watch any of the games, but yeah, it's got Black Leopard with Mjolnir. Yeah, that's. There's no way he's not doing that.
No, I mean it makes sense, and it's an easy way to get it to him without all the points and stuff.
Yeah.
Yep, that makes a lot more sense now.
And now he's 19 from. Oh, never mind. No, because I was thinking of Destroy Armor. But yeah, now he has improved targeting characters. He got Giant Reach 3, so now his reach is actually 8. So
you can body block a lot better then, so you don't have to have him out front.
Yeah, and people can't now pinch body block because it's within line of fire.
Yep, which I'm surprised he didn't honestly just do it on swap cap instead of on, because he could have made it so the points work to get Leopard on anyway. You know what I mean? I guess I'm just.
Yeah, but swap cap, you can't. He never leaves the map.
Oh, does he not? I thought he. Oh, it's right.
You need to run 2 of him.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot you had to run 2 of them. I'm so used to.
Yeah.
What was that
Xavier? That cap is always staying on the map.
Yeah.
And then do you want to take us to second place?
Yeah. So we got John Michael DeGiulio with the old Pass Blasters. So this is going to sound familiar. They always stand 10 toes down. So we have Kang the Conqueror at 100 with Remaker and Spectral. King Jefferson with Captain Carter Shield. Zala Jarrell with the Crimson Gem. The Prime Captain America with Mjolnir. I love it. Green Man with the Green Lantern Ring. Harley Quinn, the Bardley Quinn with Influence and Spin. This sounds familiar. Where did I see this before?
Did we both hit it at the same time?
And then Black Shirt Porter with the Zero and a Timebreaker Pog. Sideline was Canon Event, Fortify, Rivalry, Black Vulcan, Brainiac, Gorilla Grodd, Mimic, Skrull Spy. This team is dope. I mean, I love Kang. Kang is just like an interesting character, and he just does neat stuff. So, because he can make his bystanders, he just phases, and then he can just shoot. He's got like pretty solid range, and with Remaker and Spectral, that's really solid, I think. So,
yeah, no, I was talking with him, and yeah, we were trying to figure out. He's trying to figure out extra what else to put on Kang, and yeah, there was Mjolnir was in talks.
That's not bad.
I love 5, and then he's gonna be hitting from 7. For other options, yeah.
I love the prime cap with Mjolnir. That makes him really scary. And then the fact that he's just anti-spot. It's like, no,
Yeah. No,
you move.
that's what it is right there.
Yeah. I really like that. And he's pretty durable for 45. Like, you got to hit him a lot. Like, I know he's toughness, but he's still 6 clicks long.
And I'm pretty sure that the prime cap is the one of the reasons why he was able to win the top 4 against Crampton, because Crampton couldn't do his spot trick.
Yeah. No, I saw some of that match, and Crampton was like, "Oh, I can't bring you over." And he was like, "Yep."
He's proven that, all he's doing is proving me right that past is the future. So, I mean, he got second place in modern with past against Ed AB, and he just got second in silver with past against Isaac. So,
Do you know if he was doing anything
He's making a
to
name for himself,
trigger
yeah.
King Jefferson, either killing the bystanders from King or constructs? Or
I
anything?
never
I
saw-
believe so. Yeah. I did.
I never saw him pull off the Jefferson bomb. So I think that was just a like, if it happens, it happens type of thing.
Mhm. Yeah, shutting off flight and everything was huge too. Yeah, John, please feel free to message and let us know. We'll delve deeper into it. Because we talked about his team quite a bit, but yeah, I totally forgot to even ask about that. It was all about let's get Kang working. I want to see Kang win. That was more important.
Yeah,
He showed out really well. So
it's always cool to see a character like that do well. You like nobody you sit across the table and somebody puts King down. And you're like, what is that doing on your team?
Yeah, the
Yeah, I
fact
mean,
that he got second in the
yeah,
ROC Cup,
but granted, he's hitting for what? He could be a 14 for
Mhm.
at least 4. But King Jefferson's got enhancements, so I could make it a 5. So
and he's got prob.
and he's got prob. Yeah, he's got multiple probs actually, because everybody can prob during range attacks. So
Mhm. Yep.
He just never saw, I don't think, any teams in modern, right?
Mhm.
I don't think he had the right stuff around him when he was modern. That was the problem.
Yeah, and 100 points.
Yeah, because past is like a totally different story right now.
Right.
Like like if he was modern now, I think that there would be something with him in modern, even with 300 points instead of 400, just because of what you can bring with past. And he also has warrior keyword too, so
That's true.
there's a lot there.
All right, Pete, who took first?
The first place winner is Isaac AB. He played X-Men Silver. In quotations, I hate Hulkbuster. He played an X-Men theme team. He had Blackheart with the trick arrows, Carnage Silver Surfer with the red symbiote, Saki with the cloak, Sky Tyrant with the +1 longsword, Grand Prize APOC, Grand Prize Genesis, Professor X, the swap, Scott Porter, black shirt with the zero ring, Multiple Man from Deadpool Weapon X, at 10 points with Influence and Spin, and Friends of Humanity. His sideline was Canon Event, Rivalry, Angel, Ares, Prime Bishop, Lila Cheney, that's a blast from the past, and Mr. Sinister from the Hellfire Glove, and then, Hellfire Club, not Glove.
No,
and then Multiple
Hellfire
Men.
Glove.
The Gala.
Yeah, he's probably Hellfire Glove. The new thing.
And I did want to say it was some kind of cool posts going around today. Obviously, Isaac is one of the greatest players of all time. I think that's pretty undisputable at this point. But to see the picture of him winning 10 years ago and then winning again, that was pretty awesome.
Well, I
So
think that we can
congratulations.
credit this win to the coaching that you gave him over the last 3 months. So,
Yeah. The day I give Isaac an idea about hero clicks will be a cold day in hell. So good job, Isaac.
I can't remember how he pulled this off with Angel, but Angel's like, that's the chase where you just bomb people when you hit your stop click. I don't remember how he pulled it off, but he was able to do it, I think, like every game. I just can't remember how he pulled it off when he swapped him in.
Was he
What's a
masterminding
stop
him
click?
with Blackheart?
What was that?
Was he masterminding to him with Blackheart?
I think he might have, but it was also, I think, did he do? I don't remember if he did Mr. Sinister be able to bring him back, so then he could just make sure he can take the free.
But it's unavoidable. So that's you. Yeah. So Mr. Sinister shouldn't be able to.
No. What I mean is to keep him alive until you can take the free, because it's a free.
Would be KO'd. Okay, yeah. So yeah, that would still cover it. So I bet you that's exactly what it is. It's Mr. Sinister bringing him, and so you just keep bringing him back, and then going back and doing it over and over again.
Yeah. So that was part of the trick he was doing, and that thing was what, because it's not an attack. You just deal damage. You blow up all this blocking. It was pretty nuts. I was like, holy crap.
How often did Lila Cheney come in? Do you know? Just for the taxi.
I don't think very much, honestly, if I remember correctly. I didn't see her on the board very often when I looked over.
Okay. Congrats to Isaac for the win again. And then taking a look at the meta, as far as main force goes, they're pretty much, for the most part, all Silver Age pieces. So in first place, this was, how many people were in this again, did we say? 67. So out of 67 teams, 38 had the Black Shirt Porter, 19 had Carnage Silver Surfer, 18 had Copycat, Sakarian Iron Man made 17 teams, White Shirt Scott Porter only at 16, Sky Tyrant at 14, Lucas PJ and Scott Pog at 13, The Spot at 13, Genesis at 12 teams, and then in 10th was Mr. Oz on 10 teams, same as Arachnite. Kind of crazy, actually. I would not have guessed all these modern pieces were so low.
Yeah. I mean, it just shows the power that when these pieces came out, right? Because Saki with Disney Plus, Tyrant, Surfer, I mean, they're all like, I feel like they came out relatively close together, like 2 years apart, I think, between the three of them, like a 2 year span ish.
We got like Hadari's only on 3 teams, Wally West is only on 3 teams, Timebreaker, Pog, and Weasel are both 3.
No, Timebreaker. Oh, sorry. The actual Timebreaker's on 8 teams. The Pog is lower.
Yeah, the Pog, yeah. And then Kevin was only on 4 teams. Prime Elsa Bloodstone was only on 4 teams. Some of these are pretty surprising.
I think it just says that people want to play their old pieces.
Yeah.
And this gives you an opportunity to do it. Like these are like some of these are like classics, right? Like obviously Sky Tyrant, Saki, they get played a ton around here still by us, but these are just amazing pieces that you can make work on these teams. And things like Kang being like second place on past because he just never got his chance in Modern. There wasn't enough to do for him.
Yeah, I love to see it. Going to the equipment, first was the Cloak of Levitation at 29 teams, the Spin Ring at 27, +1 Longsword at 25, Avatar of Khonshu at 18, Power Gem at 17 teams, Emotional Modifier at 15 teams, Zero Ring at 14 teams, Trick Arrows at 13. See, that's way higher. That's where I thought it would be for the other event.
I think because of this, because silver is so broad that the arrows have enough of a Swiss Army knife that they're better here. But
and then Bloodstone was 13 teams in 9th place, and then in 10th place was the Remaker ring on 11 teams. Yeah, those rings are still really good.
Shocker that 5 points for sidestep, flight, and plasticity, and then 5 points for TK plus a free move is, oh my, 1 and 2. So shocked.
And then Sideline Mimic was actually in 2nd place. So first place was Rivalry at 33 teams. Mimic was on 27. The JLU Gorilla Grodd was on 24. Ares was on 24. Cannon Event was on 23. The JLU Brainiac was on 21. Fortify was on 21. JLU Black Falcon was on 18. Khonshu was on 18 teams. And then in 10th place was Scrappy Doo at 17.
Major Brock's Bunker was still the top map in silver.
As well it should be.
No, I honestly thought there'd be other stuff because it's silver, right? And you have a curated map list because number 2 is King's Tomb. So that's really surprising that it's still the top map.
Where I think a lot of people just don't have the big maps though. Not that they couldn't get them if they don't want them. They just feel more comfortable on a small map.
Maybe.
Where is all sections? How do I get to the map part of it though?
You
Just
scroll
look.
down. It's yeah, just keep scrolling. It's under sideline.
It's under Sideline. Oh, I see it.
No,
Jeez, there's so many. Yeah, I found them. There's so many. King's Tomb, then Monsters Island was in 3rd. Glengrove, 7. Bloodstone.
Stop
Maze.
it. Those are both great maps.
Terrible. So terrible. There's nothing on them.
No, because they're good if you're playing against, well, specifically plants, because you can spread them out, and then they're a good counter to something like that.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, that's going to wrap up the event. Is there any cool teams that you saw go up against each other, Dan?
I mean, I really liked the I also like John Michael's team. The past team was dope. That was really cool to see. I did get to see a 300-point Magneto with support, and she almost made cut. Like, it was really cool to see 300-point Magneto from Iconics do well. So, especially with support.
Oh yeah, that was one of the teams that I was watching on the standings as the day went on.
Yeah, yeah, and I pulled them on stream because I wanted to have that team get seen. So I was like, this is just cool. So, and then Joe Harrison played a very U team, by the way. So that was another team that I thought was funny. I was like, wow, this looks really familiar. Oh wait, yeah, that's because it is.
Yeah, I saw his team also.
That Iconics Magneto's the thing.
Yeah, he's really good.
He's really good.
See if I can find, because it's Emma Bradford. So she played full point mags with Time Gem, Black Leopard with the Warlock Sword, the Black Shirt Porter, and then a 10-point Proteus. And sideline was Ares Mimic. I mean, she did great. I think she was 3-2, 15 points. She had a round 5 loss. She played it out really well. So.
All right, and then while Dan was gone, that was our only chance that we had to get our monthly championship in, so we'll go over some of that really quick.
The following is a last man standing match.
A last man standing match. Last man standing. A last man standing match.
Last man standing tonight.
So this was the only weekend this month that we could get our monthly championship game in. So there were only 5 of us: Pete, Christine, Ali, Looper, and myself. May is Soldier, and in years past, the special rules have been something happen after each round: bombing runs, care package drops, but I just didn't have the time to get all that together and running for this year's Soldier event, but it will return next year. We did still run the bunker map being the finishing point that we added in last year, though. So coming in 5th place was Ali. And Ali he was really set on playing the full point Batman team up Deathstroke again with the Dream Ruby. So 150 points on that Deathstroke. And then he's been loving Spider-Punk at 85. And he wanted to put the glider on him, so he did. And then the 30-point War Machine, which was actually pretty good on the team. And then he did the 5-point cannon event because he had an extra 5 points. And
War Machine's great.
Yeah, War Machine played out really well for him. He got a lot of probs out. His dice were not great. I think he missed a lot of his shape changes. And even his attacks, I don't think were that great. There's a lot of missed attacks by him.
I don't think he hit one shape change, honestly. You'd have to ask him.
Yeah, I don't think he did. They were pretty bad. And I think he got outwitted a few times, but he still had it a decent amount of times and just missed them all. And then Matt Looper, he had Ronan the Accuser at 75 with the Universal Weapon, Soldier Supreme with the Power Gem. That's his piece. The new Captain Marvel Chase from Smash and Destroy with the Stormbreaker, the Prime Captain America from AV60th, Mjolnir, and then Perdegatin with the Spin Ring. And then coming in 3rd place, do you want to tell us that, Pete?
I do. I played the Superman, the Red Sun Superman. I was trying to live up to Harris's claim. It was a summer of Kryptonians. It did not work out, Harris. I'm sorry I failed you, and Miles. I had Nightbringer and Spectral on him. I then played the Legacy Captain Marvel with the Universal Weapon, and I played Prime Captain America with the Darkhold.
And then 2nd place was Christine. She also played the Captain Marvel Chase from Smash and Destroy, but she had the Soul Gem on her. Ronan the Accuser with the Power Gem, and then the Kree Soldier with the Universal Weapon. I was actually surprised to see 2 Ronans. He's not bad in this format that we have, but I was not expecting 2 of him or 2 Captain Marvel chases. And then
New champion.
So I went with a team that could just outlast a lot with a lot of healing, and it didn't have a ton of mobility, but it could heal back up and just kind of stay alive. So it was Najatka, the Chase from Black Panther with the Spin Ring, Black Skull with the symbiote, the black symbiote at 100 points, and then Ulysses Bloodstone at 60 points with the Blood Axe. So those were the only pieces that I played. I did switch into Killmonger a few times, which was pretty helpful. And wanted to try to get to the bunker first, and that's what I was able to do. I was kind of in a weird position at first because let's see, who picked their spot first? Looper did, right? Or no, you did.
Yeah, Dan was gone, so we just rolled. So I took my normal spot by the Redmond's oven and managed not to set it off once. So call that a success.
And then I think Christine chose her place, and then which is on the other side, and then Looper was across from you, and then I got to choose either putting myself between Christine and Oliver or Oliver and Looper. And so I went on the side with Christine, and Oliver chose to go right next or between Looper and I, and he just went right after Looper again. So I did not have to worry about him coming at me. And then I got pretty close to Christine. I just could not line up any attacks that was actually going to hit and not put my whole team in jeopardy. So she kept running in with the hypersonic, and then she would charge out, and she could TK either in or out. So she had decent range on me. So she'd take out my War Machine that Black Skull makes, and I just couldn't find a time to go in. So I just tried to position for, I think it was round 10 that the bunker opened up, right?
Yes.
And Pete was,
right.
were you trying to get to the bunker? Because you were pretty close, and if I didn't make it in there, it looked like you were pretty much set to come right at me.
So Looper had an incredible reach on his team. I had incredible reach on my team, and Christine had incredible reach on her team. So Looper, Christine, and I kind of spaced each other out. And I kept waiting for Looper to put that stinking Soldier Supreme where I could hit him. And he never did it. Looper's damage output on that team was wild.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot of times where he was just rolling like a 14 for like 5 or 6. And I'm like, man, there is nothing on my team that can hold up to that.
And he got locked in with Ollie pretty quick and just went back and forth. I think Ollie lost. Who did he lose first? Spider-Punk went down pretty quick. And then he got, was it War Machine? And then Deathlock was last. Or Deathstroke was last. But yeah, he just had another rough day, I think.
Yeah, he missed a lot of attacks, and he missed a lot of key rollouts. And I mean, Looper, Soldier's his month, man. He's picked up this game and this format really, really fast. And so I kept waiting. Like I said, I was trying to just be opportunistic, and I finally decided when Ollie was pretty much almost out, I got to do something here. So I came over, whiffed on an attack with Captain Marvel, brought over Superman, whiffed on an attack. That was when the card for the like moving a straight path was up.
Yeah.
And I didn't pull him back as far as I could with the hypersonic, and kind of left him sitting there, hoping Looper shot him with Soldier Supreme, and he did. And then threw him to Redman over in the bunker. So Soldier Supreme was not long for the game after that. And Redman was nice enough to go over what that piece did at the beginning, so there was no surprises. And then even after it happened, Looper was like, man, you even explained it? And I still fell for it. But I couldn't get anything going. Like, I whiffed a bunch of attacks, and not too long after that, like, Looper one-turned my Captain Marvel legacy. Honestly, she was a terrible choice for my team. I should have went with other things to maximize my mobility and provide more support for Superman. Superman did last a long time. My Captain America did not. I don't think I actually KO'd anybody. I think I actually ended the day with 0 points. I went in so hard to get rid of Looper's Ronin and just straight whiffed it with Captain America. And by that point, Superman was just trying to survive. And so there was a moment where it was like engage Christine, engage Looper, or just try to run past everybody into the bunker. And I did that, and then Redmond chased my Superman down.
Well, I had a spot in the bunker, and I was very content being there and making everybody come to me. And you were able to convince me to leave the bunker, and everyone was kind of set up. And then as soon as I left the bunker and attacked, I think Looper was the closest, you ran in and took my spot. So I veered off and went back and based Superman.
There was a moment when you came out where you lost Bloodstone pretty quickly.
Yep.
And I could see like you're thinking to yourself, "Oh man, he freaking baited me into this bull crap." So you came charging back into the. I grabbed somebody's universal weapon and ran off. I was gonna try to equip Superman with the universal weapon and just pulse wave for a couple rounds just to do something, because I could not hit with him. It was pretty bad.
Well, Bloodstone.
But I did get the trick off, and it did.
Bloodstone was supposed
Supreme.
Bloodstone was supposed to hit the. I think he missed one or both flurries, and so he didn't KO what he was supposed to KO. He missed all of his rollouts and all of the ways to decrease the damage. So he had a little bit of a rough day. But Black Skull and Najatka were pretty good.
Yeah, you had a great team. It was limited as far as movement compared to what everything else is on the board, but nobody wanted to lock up with you, because of all the flurry that you had and all the ability to swap out and do other things. Your King Killmonger was huge.
He came
that
up
Prime Captain America with Mjolnir, that is nice. Holy cow. That makes him incredible as an attacker. And just for him shutting down, ability to knock back and everything is huge.
Yeah, he'll probably be a staple in Silver at this point. So Ollie went out first, and then Looper came in after I based your Superman in the bunker, and then I think I was able to basically one-turn the rest of his team, right? Did he miss when he came in, I think? Yeah.
He missed, or I don't know if he missed or you rolled out. I can't remember. No, he did get his attacks off. He just missed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I had a flurry, so I was able to finish off his team, and I think Superman at the same time with a knockback.
Yes, you did with this knockback, and he KO'd your stupid War Machine Pog, was it? So that was the end of Superman's day.
So then it was just Christine and I. Christine just had Captain Marvel left, and I ran out there with Killmonger and Najatka, and I think I missed, and then she was hitting her impervious rolls, and so I moved to King Killmonger with Exploit, and I was able to finish her off. So ended my reign of losing for many, many months, which felt pretty good.
I was going to say, when was the last time you won?
Shut up, Dan.
And also, who was not in attendance this month?
So that just goes to show that I'm targeted all the time. And finally, when I was targeted by 6 or 7 other people, then it went better for me.
You had to take 2 big hitters out for you to actually finally climb the mountain. Mm-hmm. I'm sure when Skynet are back, it might be a different.
So what you're saying, Dan, is that without you and Harris, they're mid at best.
I mean, I'm just saying, like. It
Come
was
on,
what?
It's
been
like
what, like
18, I get it.
18, 20 months since you won last time?
So actually, this is, and Redman, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the first time you've actually won the new title.
The new title, yes.
Yeah. It was a heck of a win, though. I will absolutely say that. I wanted nothing to do with your team. Absolutely nothing to do with it. So, because all I'm picturing is you just hitting shape change and me just staying there and watching my pieces get destroyed. So, yeah, it was a fun day. It's always a fun day. So, Miles, I'm sorry I disappointed you so much with Superman. Redman was trying to talk everybody into
I
attacking
followed that
me
up
initially.
with my disappointment the next day, so it was a disappointing weekend for both of us.
I would play that Superman again, though.
As much as I'm giving you a hard time, Redman, good job on the win. It's always.
Oh, absolutely. No, you played it smart, and I know I was calling it a King of Camp style, but like it's a monthly game. You got to play smart. You can't just go in and just bust your load all over and get eliminated. You got to, play for the long game.
Yeah, my whole goal was just get in the bunker, and I accomplished that. So it worked out.
You got to survive to win. Yeah, it's.
This is one of the few games we ever had that didn't finish in the final area from the storm.
Yeah, that usually doesn't happen.
Once it got aggressive, it got super aggressive. So.
No, yeah, and your team was like, you look at it like, oh my gosh, that's such a meta team. And it's like, it's really not. You didn't really have any deployment. It was just pieces that were just built to survive. Killmonger obviously just came in clutch.
He did, yeah. And then also with Soldier, it's a lot of ranged pieces. So going in, I was really just hoping that I could keep people away because they didn't want to attack me. And if I was able to kind of kill box somebody, it would work. And that kind of is how it played out.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's go to the listener questions.
Your ass better call somebody.
First, we have McConnell Lamar. Hey, gents, what are the biggest surprises you saw from the Silver Age event in terms of figure popularity and absence? I thought we would have seen more spots, but being in Silver Age, maybe that was less viable. I'd expect to see triple the amount of spots in Modern at Nats.
I think the biggest thing is with the big map option, you really got to sell out with him to get him there. Like it's like I will give a specific example is Cody had a team that could do it and he wasn't selling out as hard, but his team was specifically designed to do it. But if you're just playing regular or newer spot, I still think you're like just to get him all the way over there is that's a big ask.
Yeah, so Silver, I think he's a little less viable. But seeing King the Conqueror make it to second place was really cool. I think the biggest surprise of the weekend, though, was Kenny Minks making top 8.
That and Kang getting to the finals. It's not surprising that John made it to the finals, but it's surprising that Kang actually put in the work because he's one of those figures that had potential, and it's cool to see that someone finally unlocked it.
Mm-hmm.
I was really surprised at the looking through the teams, especially the top 8, and going through the meta, just the amount of Silver Age pieces that really dominated the meta.
And not
so that just tells you, right? That just tells you that the format's awesome because you didn't have repeat teams.
I will say I did see a dark side, but it was a offensive dark side, so it was very different from last.
Wasn't he banned in
It wasn't the silver. It was the was it 3v3?
Oh, the 3v3, yeah.
Yeah, he was. I did actually see him on a team, which was surprising. But it was not the silver event this weekend. It was just the 3v3. But it was just I was like, oh, Darkside's here.
Do you know how he did?
I think he actually did okay. He played Isaac Denke one round, and unfortunately, because he had double Panther, so he murdered Chair Panther and then proceeded to then murder the Prime Panther and just watch him evaporate. I was like, oh, that's rough.
There have been some frustrations voiced over Auxit, specifically with how the end of the auctions are resolving. What do you think should be done to address it? Well, thankfully, Auxit is done, so it sounds like this was its last chance. So they failed, and it's going to go to a new platform next year, and I think that's what everyone wants.
But what's the over-under of the next platform having as many bugs as Auxit?
Let's just focus on the positives. So we raised a crap ton of money, and
what, 66,000 this year, which was what last year was 40 something. So yeah.
So, I mean, a lot more money was raised for a great charity, and the event will continue to grow next year.
What was your favorite Silver Age team from H4H? Overall, I like the diversity we saw with all the teams and pieces. Still, there was some overlap, which you kind of would expect with the Sakari and Iron Man and the Porters and things like that. But really, it was pretty wide open. I really liked Jalen's Arachnite, Madam Web Kevin team. Joe Harrison played an Arachnite with Madam Web and Felix Faust. I had to give that one a shout out. And then, Dan, you already brought this one up too. Emma, her team with the 295 point Iconics Magneto. That one was really cool. And then another one was Michael Nelson actually played a neat Sinister Syndicate team with Stegron.
Yep. That's exactly what I was going to pick, yeah.
Yeah,
and he was undefeated going into cut and lost to Crampton.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of really cool teams.
He's actually Isaac's one loss.
Oh, really?
Yes. That was the one that I was into. And Steve Bomberas, I really liked as well.
Good job, Lou.
Yes.
I got him on stream because he was doing well, and I was like, people need to see Rescue. He's like, no, don't show him the trick.
Yeah, he's been obsessed with Rescue, and so it's good to see her actually happen.
How did Rescue perform this weekend?
I think she did great. No one was ready when they saw it happen. I was like, oh, here it comes.
All right, then we have Wes Robertson. What if wrestling is real and we are fake?
Wrestling is real. Cartoons are fake, so you can compare it to there. Can you touch it? Yes. Can you feel it? Yes. It's real.
What is your prediction for the release of Lantern Legacy? The dates have moved a few times. Will we get our Lantern rings out at Origins? Will it actually come out on time in June, or will it get pushed back again?
Isn't it July
Yeah, Lantern
or
Legacy.
August?
No, Lantern Legacy is slated for July for quite a while, I think now. And I
Yeah.
don't think have they announced Smash and Destroy as the set for Origins for the sealed stuff.
I do not know.
Because if they haven't, that would be awesome if we get a surprise and it ends up being Lantern Legacy. There's not a early June or July or late July though, so who knows? But that would be awesome if we end up getting it for all the sealed stuff.
And then when's Nats?
That is
That's Origin, right?
Yeah, that's our Origins. That's in like a month.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that then. That coming in early for sure.
What do you think the set's going to be for Worlds?
Hopefully
X-Men 97.
Yeah, hopefully X-Men 97. That's set for September.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, being able to.
Depending on, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if they have the next set in with due to all the tariffs and everything. So, I mean, hopefully it's a new set. There's a possibility it might be Lantern Legacy because that's all they're going to have in.
Yeah. Can we get a round of applause for another successful event from Ryan O, Anthony Barnstable, and everyone who made it happen? It was definitely a successful event. A lot of people had a hand in it, though. Dan, did you want to do any other shout-outs?
Shout out to the judge staff. Y'all are fantastic. Barnstable, Aaron. I mean, Barnstable's a slave driver, but I love him. Cody was awesome. Miles, you and him are like the same person.
Oh no, we talk. You'd be probably surprised at how much we talk about team building and how we're on the same wave.
I know. It's just I've met Cody before, but then I got more interaction with him this time, and I'm just like, it's not the same, but your head, like your like mindset of how you play is very similar. I'm like,
Oh
it's
yeah,
like
yeah, our team builds are they're like the same.
I got to meet Brandon Shastine, also known as Beezy. He's great. Brian, just him and Cody like ran the BR front, like it was so smooth. Like everybody was super happy to do BRs. I think we did them almost every night past 10 o'clock. So judge staff was fantastic. Like they really pulled it out. Like I think the events ran as well as they did because of them. Like I was just a small part of that. So I mean, they really did great, and it was like I said, we had 110 people on Saturday. That was nuts.
Yeah, how
That's
much? How was
awesome.
the room with that many people? I mean, was it?
Okay, so it's not as bad as what you guys had last year, but it was still hot. Like I was still uncomfortable after day 2. I was like, all right, this is it's a little hot in here for me.
No, I meant the amount of room because there was literally no room for our Scott Porter versus the world.
It was tight, but we had room.
Yeah.
Like
We were like taking up all the BR tables.
We had to go into the BR tables, unfortunately, for the first couple rounds because there was no space for BRs. Like, it just wasn't what it was, unfortunately, for that.
Dan, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
You've been to a few cliX events now. You've ran some cliX events. You've judged at many. Where would you rank this one for yourself?
So I think, unfortunately, Champion Clix is still the bar as far as like how well it's run, like what it is. This one is special because you get all of the stuff for charity, and you get Porter and everything else that comes along with it, and it's just a big community event, and it's just a really good time. So this one's like, honestly, because of what it is, it probably goes like second now. Honestly, like Worlds is Worlds, but as far like if there's events I have to make in a year, I want to make Champion Clix and I want to make this one because it's the atmosphere, it's the people you're around. We're trying to raise money for charity, and it's just people coming and they want to have fun. Like it was just a good time. It was like I get to see all my buddies like that I don't get to see. Like I got to see all the West Coast guys that I don't see that often. Nick, Joe, I get to see everybody from all of the places that I don't normally get to see, which is great. So, and everybody wanted to have a good time. So, and everybody's like, for the most part, like really positive. Like, I don't really think we had any like really bad interactions, but overall over the weekend, as far as like players concerned. So,
And then his last week question is, how tired are Dan's arms after flying back from H4H?
I leapt back. I didn't fly. short hops. You know, I just jumped from Alabama to Atlanta and then Atlanta to home. So my arms are not tired.
Did you jump?
Like a fire rocket.
Oh my god. Dead.
I'm just gonna respectfully decline to answer that one.
Moving to Lou Minotti.
Yeah.
Did Dan find my balls? I think I lost them right before Top Cut for silver. Dan?
I don't know what happened there, Lou. Like, I don't know where they wound up, but man, like you were doing so well. I was really happy to see it, and then I don't know what happened in cut there. I didn't get to see your games, unfortunately, for that. Like I don't know what happened to you in cut because you were top table. He was like at table 1, 2, or 3 for quite a little bit there.
Yeah,
So.
he was high up there. I was watching him also.
You know, we're a full service podcast, so if somebody finds loose balls, send it back to him, please.
Yeah.
All right, and then Emily asks, I'd love to hear about interesting rules questions that came up. Well, Emily,
Okay.
Dan has a list of just that.
Oh, you didn't know?
Right. So first is Annihilus from Fantastic Four versus Mern. So this one depends on who goes first. It's about applying Mern first. So if you're active player and you apply Mern first, he basically says that you cannot positively modify your stat values. So then I think it was Annihilus doesn't do anything because you don't have any positive modifiers to flip. But then if Annihilus goes first, then you would still negative the values, and then Mern says you can't raise them. So you're pretty much stuck at your negatives then. So it really just depends on like the order of operations for that one. But it's a very interesting interaction because Annihilus's damage power says that when he is attacked or attacks a single character, any positive modifiers become negative. So, but then Mern has this whole, if you're within 4 of him, you can't positively modify your values. So, it's mainly because it's referencing intersections of. Oh, there's another one of referencing intersections of 4 squares with different elevations and/or characters and blocking and how it impacts movement and knockback. So basically, if you're trying to move in a corner and one of the squares is a different elevation and one is a blocking, you can move across it, but you immediately have to stop because you're changing elevation because it's the path of least resistance because you can't go through the blocking. So, and then obviously you can still shoot across it. And you can punch if you have giant reach, but that came up a couple times this weekend about like intersections with corners and different elevations, and then blocking. Is Pulse Wave a locked replacement value? No, it can be modified. That was a big one that came up a lot too. Hierophant versus move up to half its speed value. This is specifically for Kazar. Hey Joe, I hope you're listening. Kazar has his trait where he says if he is given a capital move action, you can move another character up to half their speed value. So it's not a replacement, it just says you can move that much. So the Hierophants, like your values can't be modified or replaced. So, but Kazar's isn't doing that. So you only actually move the half your speed value. Perplex down a 0 interaction with a minimum range 4, you still get the minimum range 4 because it's a minimum. And then, can you place barrier on debris? No, you cannot. That was a funny one because someone was holding a blocking terrain and was in a debris marker and then died, and then so they had to drop the blocking, but it had to go in the next available like square, like that was available that didn't have debris on it. And then, so what should the procedure be for? I can't use my phone, but I want to see an errata on my opponent's HC unit's build sheet. I believe it's you can use the D&D or do not disturb mode, so that you can't actually see the time on it, but it'll still you can like screenshot that page and still have it up, so you can see the errata on the team. And then another one that came up was how long does a question take to before you give a time extension? And I think that's variability of like how long it takes to explain it, given like the interaction or stuff like that. A couple more I had was so there's 2 different Magnetos. It's the Iconics and the new Chase one that have the free TK The free TK is only applying to that first portion of the TK, which is you being able to move a character or a debris marker for free, or up within your range value, or like 4 squares. You don't get the second part where you can make the terrain actions as if you were holding the marker for free. And then immune versus pulse wave. This is kind of a big one. So if you're immune, you can't be damaged, targeted, a bunch of things via. Let me actually just pull this up. Hold on a moment. So the big thing with immune is there's a lot of thing it protects against. So, but pulse wave is actually interesting against immune, specifically for that. So immune is this character can be moved, placed, damaged, or targeted by the effects of opposing game elements. This character can't take knockback damage, protected pulse wave. So, so the first part of the pulse wave can still, you can still reset their durations, even if they're immune. So if they perplexed or outwit or anything that involves a free action, you can still reset that duration if you pulse wave them. You're not going to do anything to them besides that. No damage, nothing else, but you can still do that portion, which is pretty big. And then another one was the Immune and Prime Captain Marvel. So Prime Captain Marvel from, I believe it's Empire, is the I can become the target even if I'm illegal. And if he gains immune, what happens? He still becomes the target even if it would be illegal because of how he works. And then basically nothing would happen because he's immune. Even though he becomes the target of the attack because he's now immune. So that one's a really weird interaction because of how he works. Because he would become the target even if he's illegal. Even though, so like he's immune, you can't, but he becomes the target, which bypasses all of that. So, but I still think he still can't be damaged. So, and then WWE figures and pick a power. We covered that. They can be on the sideline, and then you can like pick a power, like with Saki or stuff like that, because you have to have a multiversal game in order to pick their powers. So it's either you play the boxing ring, or sorry, the WWE ring, or you can now play them like on the sideline because they're free game. So those were the big ones that I had that I wanted to bring back and talk about. So, or at least give a chance to show like, hey, these were interactions that we had come up that were pretty interesting. So,
out of all the days that you judged, which day do you feel like had the most like rules questions or issues?
Oh, it was definitely silver. Like there's so many unique interactions that occur. You're just like, oh, hold on, I have to read their cards like twice to make sure like what I'm seeing.
Was it more just people being like just not aware of characters existing because they were newer players, or just new words?
I mean, oh no, even veteran, even like people that have been playing for a while or just play like our top players, like they're just like, I didn't know that worked. Like it's just silver's big and there's a lot of unique interactions, and that's both the joy of it and the like, oh well, that was a surprise, and you're just not going to be ready for everything. It's just how it goes.
All right, going to Joe Ruffing. Do you expect or hope to see any erratas or watch lists before Origins? I'd like to see a few erratas before Nats, but if not before Nats, then after Nats and before Worlds. Some of the stuff that I personally would like to see addressed is still Beetlejuice is making a lot of teams unplayable, forcing Chair Panther to be on most teams. So something needs to be addressed there. I still think cannon event triggering by KOing your own piece is not great. Spot, I think, is too strong. The Ares bomb using Giant Reach, I don't think that's right, even though I do understand why it's being said that it works because of the same wording as Quake. Then Copycat.
I think the Ares thing with Giant Reach is rough, but I think it's the terrain marker, I think, is what makes it go over the top, where you can have a terrain that gives you Giant Reach 4.
Yeah, that definitely
that's one thing that shouldn't exist.
Yeah, that just makes it worse.
I mean, it's still an attack, and you have to hit, so
I guess it's okay then. Copycat's pretty ridiculous, but I don't really know what to do without making her unplayable, and I'm still not a fan of plants attacking and poisoning from across the map. That's super frustrating.
I think with Copycat, I would think at the beginning of the turn, you just choose a character versus she gets everything. I think that would be the easiest way to tone her down a bit.
Would you pay
Then it's still
15
really
points for
good.
that still?
Yeah, because depending on what you can copy, you're still getting a ton of stuff. Double barrier in and of itself for how cheap she is still really good.
What about you guys? Where do you stand with any erratas or watch lists?
I think Perdigata needs addressed. I mean, we just saw he was on, every team. And then the juice for sure. It's tough because it's to the point now where there's so many broken things that's okay, this all needs addressed. Cannon event 100% should not be triggered by friendlies. That is ridiculous, and I don't know how that got Prendy going. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we'll go ahead and KO something. That it should be from an opposing effect. Because that's the entire thing is that it's gonna help you survive when someone tries to hit you with an alpha.
Well, it's even crazier is with all the constructs. You just make a spotlight and then you walk it off, and now you can just pick any one of your characters to be immune.
Yeah. Well, yeah, or the shark for Kamo. He just walks it away. It dies at the end of the turn. Hey, look, something's immune.
Yeah.
That should not work. Oh, another thing that needs to be fixed is Captain America with the same thought with the stupid Colosseum.
What's that?
You shouldn't
that's true.
You shouldn't be able to walk your figure into the Colosseum, kill it, and then get 10 victory points without doing anything. That's not.
Did someone pull it off? Did someone do that out there?
I didn't see it because we ruled ahead of time on it that's not going to work. It has to be from an attack was how we ruled it. It can't be from a how did Aaron word it? It can't be from a game or a game effect knockback or something like that. It has to be directly from the attack. Mystics won't trigger it.
When I was reading, that's what I was looking at. It's because knockback technically isn't coming from the character.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
how it has
to be from a character specifically. So that was much better because that's really stupid to just. I'm gonna walk my butterfly into the thing and have it get murdered, and then look at that, I got or a bunch of constructs. I got 60 victory points for literally nothing.
Yeah,
that was one that I was that he needs to be fixed, and it's an easy fix. So
yeah. Pete, do you have any?
Yeah, I agree with all of that. I've never liked the Ares bomb giant reach thing at all. Anything that really just, and I don't mind alpha strikes, but I don't like one turn game ending alpha strikes. I just think you're not actually playing the game then. That's just my opinion. Maybe that's an unpopular opinion. But the most fun games I have are more back and forth things, not somebody misplayed or misplaced by one square and all of a sudden your whole team is dead. I don't like that. And the Canada event thing is, I think we're just going to start to see that get abused because there is so many ways to trigger it that you can just trigger it when it's advantageous to you, which it should never be that. It should have to either be from an opposing effect KOing something or, an opposing effect KOing something and then you can play it, or it just should not be something that you can calculate on to put a piece right in somebody's face and say, all right, well, you can't do anything with it.
Well, I watched. I'll give us. I watched Joe Harrison use it offensively. So he cannoned Arachnite and then did his alpha with Arachnite, and they couldn't touch him because he's all right, flurry, and then rolled. He hit a Mystics piece. They couldn't do Mystics damage. I mean, and then he did his free, poof and hit something else. I mean, it was wild. It's he did it in a way that was very interesting, but also that's stupid. Just all right, I'm immune and I'm gonna go hit your whole team.
So what was he killing on his team to do that?
I caught it after that. I didn't see what he killed, but that was what happened after.
Probably paparazzis because he had Marvella.
She wasn't married to Jane because she doesn't. Marvella doesn't spit out the paparazzi.
Yeah, you're right. I got to have to look at the team, but it's something that I just think that card is rivalries kind of cruddy too in a dice game. You don't have to roll. Canon event though I think is just way more abusable.
Oh, and then the I'm not going to miss the arrows. I think at this point they're probably rotating at after Worlds, so a lot of those initial arrows that we got, they can get out of here too. The stabbing people with them and all that.
I don't see people stabbing with them, honestly, as often as I thought I would. It's still, at least from what I saw, it's still range attacks, but yeah.
All right, Dan, we're
Yeah,
gonna
when
go
they rotate into silver, I'd prefer to see some of them
benched.
not be allowed. Yeah. Yeah,
They'll
kind of similar
probably-
to like the stop sign's gone, right? So
They're probably just all going to hit the bench, honestly. I don't see, they're probably just too prevalent that they'll probably just hit the bench for at least a year.
I won't miss them. All right, Dan, we got a lot of questions from Anthony Barnstable, so I'm going to have you run the gauntlet on these ones. Who was inducted into the Hall of Fame this year, and who are all of the members of the Hall of Fame?
So the people that got inducted were Clay Wood, Scott Porter, and Daniel Powell. I do not know all of the members. I know, I think George Massey's also a member. Like I said, I just don't know all of the members, and I couldn't find where they were. So,
All right, I'll give you half a point for that then. Who was the community award this year?
so Jay Major got the community award, and so did Clay.
Who were the previous winners?
both well deserved.
That was another one I couldn't find.
Who or how
Both
did
well deserved winners
who or
this
how
year. Clay, especially.
who or how did that start, and how is it selected?
That I also unfortunately do not know. That's the biggest thing. Is just I don't know where. I'm not 100% where to find it. So that's the biggest problem I'm having was just that. So
Is there a place to go to read more about all of the winners, what they won, and why they won?
I do not know. I'm still trying to find it, honestly. So I'm not sure where that is located. I thought it was on the ROC page, but I can't actually find that.
I give you
So-
a quarter of a point for that then.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
Question 3. Who won the 3 fellowship prizes?
I know Miguel Silva won. I thought he was. Oh, the 3. Was that them? It was for the 3 of them. It was Miguel's team. So it was Miguel, his brother, and I do apologize. I do not remember the third gentleman's name that was with them on the team. But that was their team that won the giant bag of goodies that was handed out for the 3v3 fellowship.
1.5 points.
Well, there was also, I'm going to help him out here. There was Ant that won one of the fellowships.
I wasn't sure if this one was pointed at the 3v3 so yeah, I know Ant won as well, and then
There's 3 fellowships that were picked out.
Then going to the fourth question is for the 3v3, which 3 players won the bystander, which 3 won the map, and which 3 won the legacy card?
So Lucas, Alex, and Isaac they took the bystander. Nick, Kenny, and Joe took the map, and who was third place for the 3v3? So the 3v3 was Luke, Brian, and Ant, I believe, got the. Or no. Oh, it was Fellowship gets the last one. So I believe Miguel, his brother, and their other teammate got the. Was that the legacy card? Yeah.
Yeah. All right, 2.5 points. Question number 5. Who are the 2 new players designing Switch Clicks? Can you recap who all previously won Switch Clicks and show pictures if any of those are known, and the list of which have not been shown?
Thanks, Anthony. I know Anthony's one of the new ones because he won one. I do not know who won the other one that was up this year.
I'm just hoping that his Switch Clicks is like him with like the evil doctor, and like because everyone always has cats, and like just use those same sculpts like cats like they're passed out, and he's holding one cat and he's got a needle, a syringe in his other hand, but just a maniacal laugh.
I know that Lucas won one last year, and his design was him. He's holding something that resembles Mjolnir or like a version of it, and he's also got his cat or cats, I believe, on the Switch clip. I got to see the picture of that. That was pretty cool. I do not remember who all won one of these before.
I think Brad Boyles
I-
has one, doesn't he?
I think
Yes.
so. Yeah.
It's
It's
him
in
leaning
the-
over and petting a cat.
That's right.
Howard won it and made Tracy into it with her dressed up as like it's an Amazon, like Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman, yeah.
And I remember someone was dressed up as Iron Man. I don't know who it was. I remember seeing that a few years ago. I don't know.
That was probably the
who
first
that
one.
was.
All right, Dan, 1 point. Number 6.
You can eat me with these point systems.
Oh, I mean, do better, and you would be happy about the points you're getting, but you're just not doing great. So, shoot the Anthony Barnstable, not me. Number 6.
No, it's gonna be you because Anthony's too nice. So
These questions say otherwise. Who is
so the new person designing the map, their trade name is Bearworks. I do not know their actual name, nor do I really feel comfortable just giving that out publicly. So
I think the question is who's the person that won the design a map from the auction?
Oh, I do not know who won the design of map from the auction. That was
Scott Porter's designing it, or Scott Crampton's designing a Battle Royal map.
Yeah, he that from the live auction, yeah, or something. Was it something like that? Yeah.
Yes.
I think it was
that was
it a
interesting.
Michael or a was it Michael that won it? Someone?
I don't remember what the username was.
I just didn't get to see a lot of this because I wasn't on Oxit, and I just didn't get to see a lot of who won stuff. That was the biggest thing for some of these.
We'll go -1 point for getting the question completely wrong. 7.
Well, they said who is the new person designing a map? So like, it's like technically who's designing the map is this guy. He's designing.
It's just through the auction.
Yeah,
and it's winning design a map.
I don't know, but like I said, I didn't get to see who won a lot of these. Like if you design
Let's
a
throw out
map.
a name. Frank Furter.
Sure,
he's got it.
I like this new whose line is it anyway point system, Edmund. Can we continue this?
We sure could.
Where?
Let's go to question number 7. Who is the Battle Royale champion?
I saw the guy win, and I could not find his name. Like I was looking for the post, trying to find the post today, but he did play quite a handful of games, honestly. I think, but it was the same. Like they ran a point system, so and he got quite the like trophy with a bunch of goodies in it. But I unfortunately do not remember the gentleman's name. It was just I couldn't find it. I was trying to scroll through all the posts to find his name, and I don't see it posted through the events either. That's the biggest thing that I'm seeing that I'm having a tough time finding here. So.
How many BRs did they play?
I think it was 18 or 19, I think.
How many BR points did they earn?
I feel like they were somewhere in the 50s. I think it was like 58 maybe. 50.
Do you feel that was the best way to run a BR champ, or changes you want to see to help more people feel like they had a chance of winning it?
Well, I thought it was pretty similar to how they ran it at Adepticon, which I thought was a pretty solid way to run BR, unless there was a different. I thought they did the same point system of like your placement points and like points for every BR you're in.
So his name is Robert Robbie Williams. He had 83 points in 20 games.
Okay, so I was close on the games at least. I knew he played a bunch of games.
He's also known as Frosty the Broman 2011.
Miles, I will award you 5 of Dan's points.
That's all of them. I just took all of his points.
No, for that question. Only Dan was supposed to get points in this, but you're gonna get the points for that one.
Well, people might want to know the answer, so I went and helped Dan. I concede my points to Dan.
Well, I'm gonna take them back then and hopefully award them over the course of the next 9 questions.
Okay.
So, question number 8: how much money was raised in total?
$66,000, as far as close as I'm aware as to what we raised for H4H.
All right, you get the whole point there.
I'll take 66,001.
What were some cool prizes in the live auction?
The coolest prizes were the original HeroClix molds from, I think, Explosion, Like there was an Apocalypse that was a 1 of 1 that wasn't the mold that they actually used for the set. It was a completely different mold. There was a Spider-Man with like the web shield. There was a bunch of interesting prizes that went out. I mean, obviously like Virgilio donated a bunch of stuff. There was the old Thanos on the throne. If anybody didn't have that, there was non-clicks related prizes. Like there was a bunch of what was it? There was the old like Speed Racer toys. I think there was like a full set of like the collectible like I think they were the McDonald's. I can't remember if they were the McDonald's toys or where they were from exactly, but there's one of those where like I didn't even know this stuff existed. So I was like, well, that's neat.
Did you get pictures of any of them?
Yeah, it's all on our live stream.
A point, almost a point and a half, but a point.
Oh, fuck you.
1.25 points.
When did the last BRs wrap up each night?
There was anywhere between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m.
If a new player went next year and it was their first time and they wanted to play as late as they could each day doing BRs, how late is that?
About 2 to 3 a.m. in the morning. So, like, Cody didn't get back till I think it was like 3:30.
2 points. How many Phoenixes were there in person at the event?
There was 355 Phoenix bystanders, and they were all gone by day 2. Or, like, I think it was it Saturday, I think, or Friday? It was wild how fast they were going.
Are there any left over in any other way or source that will be given out in any other ways?
Yes, Anthony bought a bunch off of the Oxit app and is going to be giving them out for the IPF. Or other events, I believe, was how he stated it. So yeah, there's going to be plenty of bystanders available. I don't know how many he has, but he spent an exorbitant amount of money to give these bystanders away at other events or through the IPF.
Yeah, and if you see him at Origins
17.
and you beat him in arm wrestling, that's another way you can get one of those those pogs that he won. That he will arm wrestle you for, but you have to be specific and say, "Hey, I heard I can arm wrestle you for a Phoenix," and he has to accept.
Well, sounds like I'll be getting a Phoenix at Nats.
Yep.
If you can actually catch him to arm wrestle him.
Yeah, and then you gotta beat him. Don't let those little strong little arms fool you. You can pick up an ox.
Dan will do 3 points on that last one. That was well answered. What teams made the top 2 in Scott Porter versus the World Sealed?
Destroyer Prime and Destroyer Prime.
I will give you 5 points and then take away 3 because that was a terrible final.
At least they didn't. Hey, you know what they didn't do though? They didn't roll off. Good job, Jalen.
Oh, that's a good point.
So,
Jalen, I'm really proud of you, actually.
I am too. I'm glad you decided to play it out.
I'm going to give you back those points, Dan, for reminding me about that. So, all 5 points.
I gave him a hard time. I gave him a hard time in cut because he rolled off in cut and won, and I gave him a hard time about it. So he might have taken that into account. Oh, I might need to play this out.
Well, in cut, roll off shouldn't even be a thing.
I know. I'm just saying, I gave him a bunch of grief when he did roll off against Nick Madison during cut. So,
number 13, what team won the Supercharged Sealed?
Ant won. His team won Supercharged Sealed.
Do you remember any pieces on it?
Spot. That's about it. But again, I was also watching like 30 other teams, so I apologize. I do not remember what he played in Sealed. And we also didn't have a chance to record it like we did during the Scott Porter versus the World. If they were recorded, that would be much easier.
So do you think that's why he goes by Antoine? Because when people asked, who won? And they said Antoine. And so they thought I said Ant won. And so that's why they call him Ant.
That's a possibility.
That's a stretch, but okay.
I just think, I just see it happening.
Could you?
Yep.
What combo of teams won the 3v3 Modern, and review the meta on HC units for that event? My changes to Modern to recommend or discuss.
Well, we did go over the 3 teams that won the 3v3. So we did cover that already.
Yeah, pretty much every aspect of that question we did.
in pretty well detail. So,
So
don't
who
need
won?
for redundancies.
Who won? Tell me real quick. 3, 2.
Lucas, Alex Mader, and Isaac Denke.
Okay. 1 point for slowly answering.
Yeah. So I'm gonna answer how I feel like it. So suck
His
it.
name is Lucas Mader Dinky. Okay, that's Lucas's new name.
Sure.
What team
Because his name is-
won? What team won silver and reviewed the meta on HC units for that event? Any changes to silver you would like to recommend or want discussed?
Isaac's X-Men, I believe it was X-Men still. Swap team won silver.
What
And
about
then
just the
it's-
changes to silver?
I really like the Highlander change. That felt a lot better, honestly. It just like there was such a variety of things that got played that day, which was so nice to see. Just in variance to like last year's silver, or even just what 6 months ago's silver.
Mm-hmm.
It was just such a change between the bench ban list changing and then Highlander. It's very good. I mean, there's probably more things like with modern game elements, honestly, that could be changed. I mean, you could look at this and be like, does the top like 20 pieces need to be looked at in silver? I don't know. I mean, the funny thing is like,
Barrel is sorely missed.
huh?
Barrel needs to come back and stay.
And
Like,
magic.
that's
I didn't actually see that being a problem, honestly. Like it wasn't that alpha heavy because if that was the case, like they went on a big map and it took longer, and it was more of just who positioned better then. So
All right, so 2 points for answering both parts of the question and an extra half point for answering it well. Number 16.
Nice job, Dan.
Did you play any VR games?
no, because I was like on the job the whole time, but they looked fun.
How was that?
I mean, everybody that I saw playing them looked like they had a really good time.
Did you feel like you were
the
missing out?
children. I would have liked to try it, but I also didn't feel like I was missing out because I really enjoyed like being on judge staff and just participating. It was just a really good time. So no, I didn't really feel like I was missing out.
1.5. Will Auxit be used again next year?
We did cover this. Auxit will not be used next year. There will be again the event has grown so large that they need to use something that can handle that level of like whether it's prizing or like available items to be auctioned off. So
Are you going to miss Auxit?
I think we covered this already. Do I really need to reiterate and beat a dead horse?
No, are you going to personally miss it?
I don't even have an Auxit account, so no.
Oh. Was the AC in the building better than last year?
The bar for that is very low, but slightly better. But with 100 people, it was still hot. But it was not what I would consider completely unbearable.
Unfortunately, I did not add all the points up, so I'm going to say you got like 5 points total.
Yeah, that's right. I added them all up, and it was 5.23.
Oh,
Cool, and this is where I leave. Good night, gentlemen.
Hi, Dan. Good job.
Well, you're not leaving the sweatshop early. That's not how this works.
Nobody gets to check out early.
I do what I want when I want. Mm-hmm.
All right, going to Nick Blue. As a community, how can we stop Isaac AB's reign of terror and domination? Huge congrats to him for another big win. Yeah, Isaac did take another big win this weekend, and overall just great showing on all the days that he was there, so congrats to him.
I'm going to try and bring attractive girls to the next event I see him at. Maybe that can, maybe. I don't know. I think he's just, that's all he's ever wanted to do. I mean, winning an event at 10, kind of shows you that, he's here to stay.
He played a very interesting team for Silver. Like, it was like a lot of the good stuff, but he still had interesting, like what I would consider style points that I wasn't expecting. Like, I wasn't expecting the Angel Bomb. I was like, wow, that's brutal.
Any team that Isaac plays and does well in events is really just something to look at. He thinks the game at a different level, I think, than a lot of players. And congratulations to him for continued success.
Lucas Tom Van Holland, why is Miles When it comes to miles, I find myself asking why quite often. The only answer I ever
So
really
this-
come up with is it's miles.
Yeah, so actually there's actually a real easy answer to it. The reason why is miles is because it's actually, you can blame the Romans, because they used to cover long distances, and so they had paces in each length of 5 feet, and so the mile was derived from the Latin mille passum, meaning 1,000 paces. And Romans, that was roughly 1,000 paces, and they were shorter. So that's where the original mile came from. So that's why it's miles. It's because of the Romans.
I think there's obvious follow-up questions here. It's a great question, though, Lucas. Is when is Miles? Where is Miles? And how is Miles? Miles, how are you?
Been good. Been good.
See, but I never have to ask who is Miles, because that, like, I don't have to answer that question. I just know that.
But who is Miles? Like, that's a loaded question. I mean, the Miles are vast.
No, who is Miles? Miles is exactly what you expect.
There you go. Yeah.
Everybody knows Miles, and they meet Miles, and they're never disappointed.
Exactly.
That's why he's the mayor.
My wife would disagree in being disappointed, but I'll agree with you.
William Day Roker, what did Dan find different about judging a silver event than a modern event?
So, silver versus modern is just the broadness of it. But honestly, I felt very sharpened after the end of that. Like, it was just like silver's like such its own thing, and like how much can interact. Like by the end of it, I just felt like so secure in my like ability to actually answer questions and like confidently. Like I was sure of what I answered. I didn't have a like a worry of like, oh, I gave out wrong information, because like it was, you have to read through everything and go over it, and like I had the pack like pulled up with me on my because I had it on my tablet, and it was just like that part was probably the best, but it is very different because of how much can interact. Like there's tons of stuff. There's so many corner cases. Like there's corner cases on silver. I think that's the biggest thing. Like modern, you kind of know what are the big like interactions that people are like, how does this work? Versus silver, you're gonna get so many curveballs that you really have to know your stuff. And like Aaron has shown me like how important that is, of like your foundation has to be good in order to be like a competent, like not just judge, but like silver judge. If you're doing silver, you got to know your stuff.
And legally required wrestling question. What rules would have changed if wrestlers from back in the day, silver, went up against modern ones to make the most interesting matches? Who would the silver wrestlers be? I think the old ones would actually have quite a hard time keeping up, just because the pacing was so much slower, right? So they definitely have to up their cardio.
The newer wrestlers would have a hard time being more than a jobber, because they didn't have the body and what people would think would be a star,
And having to slow down their pace. It's all
No,
about
you don't
like
need to slow down your pace. Wrestlers, the Silver Age wrestlers, it was all about being larger than life, and less is more.
and that's the
you
exact
could
opposite right now. So one would have to change.
Yeah, and that's it doesn't you can't really they actually don't mesh well at all, just because like everything has completely changed from the size and everything. It'd be so hard to, like, if you have Andre the Giant, I don't know. I don't think it's possible. I think so. We'd have to actually bump it up to where it's going to be the new generation era of when Hogan left. So we're going to start it at June 13th of 1994 until the purchase of WCW, which would be March of 2001. That's going to be our Silver Age, because that way, that's more inclined with how the wrestling works now. The work rate was similar with similar wrestlers, and it's transitioning. So that's what we're going to use the Golden Age.
All right. Pete, do you want to chime in on that one?
Wrestling is such a generational thing. Like the people that are popular and why they're popular during that time. You see like that those moves that we used to consider like just devastating, like everybody uses them now. Like everybody does the super kick now. The DDT is used all the time, and things like that. I agree with Miles' assessment of the Silver Age versus Modern Age. I go back and forth on like the body types of wrestlers. Like these are not the guys that I grew up with. Just larger than life, huge gladiators, in the ring. But I enjoy the modern product a lot. I think they would have a real hard time, older wrestlers, with a lot of the false finishes now, because there's just so many false finishes in wrestling now, where you'll see things that like should have really, like Miles and I have talked about, like guys taking, brainbusters on chairs and they get up and finish the match. They would have been off TV for like 2 months and came back repackaged after that. So
we watched that Tiger Mask match where the finish was a German suplex, an elevated German suplex. Amazing match, but like that's a kick out. They're gonna go another 25 minutes.
I think I would call modern wrestling is less subtle than what previous wrestling was, because of, like you said, like the German suplex was devastating, but changing the angle on it was considered like that put somebody away. And that was a lot of the subtlety of wrestling back then. Now you get into the kind of things of whether you like the spot monkey choreograph stuff, and depending on how it's portrayed, I like a lot of it. So it's a great question. We could talk about this for like an hour.
Yeah, that's why I have to lean towards the new generation, because I think it'd be golden age would be the 80s. And I think that because silver, like, and when you think of it from HeroClix perspective, like silver actually works really well with modern, even though it's like it's overcosted, but like you can still find some interesting like interactions. And I think when you look at the new generation of when Hogan left WWF and when WCW was purchased, I think that era, because you're gonna have the Chris Jerichos, you're gonna have the Eddie Guerreros, and so you're gonna see some of those were able to transition into the modern era, and so it's easier to say that's gonna be your silver wrestlers.
Good answers. All right, going to Paul Cote. What's your opinion on the GOATs? Oh, they get excited when we start talking about them. How do they compare to Blackheart? They have a slightly shorter range, much more limited keyword they can place, and need a power action. Is that enough to make them a fixed Blackheart? Well, Blackheart got beaten to death with his multiple nerfs. I think the GOATs are really good. The power action was one of the biggest things, so making it that for them, I think it kind of helps balance them. And as Guardian itself has just really gotten some of its best pieces in the last year, and I think it's all due to the support and different style of attackers. So I think they're in a good place on the Asgardian side of it. Do you guys think there's enough balance with the way that they change this versus Blackheart?
We're going to need them to get addressed with the way that it works with the flute and team player and Green Lantern.
It doesn't work. It doesn't
okay,
work.
Good.
It changes their passenger to passenger 2. You can't override
That's exactly my entire argument, and everyone was whenever I was talking about it, people were always shutting me down. I'm like, no, it's the action itself that gives passenger 2. Okay, that's perfect. That's exactly how
you can't override it with team player and Green Lantern. It doesn't work.
Yeah. No, as Guardian, I think is actually there. I mean, Lucas showed it in the 3v3. Like, it's devastating.
Mm-hmm.
Ironically enough, his team was almost identical to my team that I had built to play in the 3v3. I had to step in because every judge had a team ready to go in case some team needed a third.
Yeah, no, that was it was a devastating team. So would it have been H4H Daniel, and then you would have won?
No, I mean, I don't in no way discount Lucas's play. Like, he played well all day.
No, I'm just saying. What I'm trying to say is that no, it's you that Dinky and Mater carried him to a win, and that was your win. So I'm saying is that Lucas stole your win. It was no means at all like trying to like poke fun at you. That was just saying that that was your win.
I was just excited to watch it in action. I sat down at least once where I'm like, all right, I just need to watch this because I wanted to do this myself.
Yeah, it's something that sounds like only good on paper, and then when you actually see it happen, you're just like, yeah, this is dumb.
So
I like it though.
Dan, did you say that you build Lucas's teams for him?
No, I said that my team was nearly identical to Lucas's team. I do not build Lucas's team.
Okay. I misheard that. My bad.
I like the Guts. I played them on Monday. They're fun. I think they'll have a very good place in Modern. I think Asgardians is coming. It's not the past. It might be the future.
Now, during pre-release, you absolutely hated the goats. Was that a tactic to make us not see you playing the goats coming?
Yeah, well, my team did not have enough Asgardians in the pre-release, and there wasn't the things that you could do when you play constructed with them. I think they're great, honestly. And yeah, a lot of times that takes me a minute to figure out what's actually good in HeroClix.
That part is true. All right, going to Mork Bird. If we had a Rebgorn and Aqua Miles duo figure, what would it be? What would its traded ability be, and how would Miles want to capitalize on Dolphin symbol? One, I think, would be throwing a big rock blocking terrain marker. And if it lands on a character, you deal one unavoidable damage. Maybe that's equipment, though, like a huge boulder equipment. I like it.
You don't want to choose between large rocks and small sharp rocks?
Maybe they're both equipments, and you can choose to cut people with them or chuck the big boulder another game. Sideline active.
See, I thought you'd eat the small ones to heal. Honestly, that was what I thought. I was like, oh, he'll eat the small sharp rocks to heal, and then he'll throw the big giant rock to hurt somebody.
How about the huge boulders, when they're destroyed, turn into small rock terrain?
Yeah, okay. I dig it.
And Aqua Miles literally eats everything else.
He's like Jeff from Rivals. I like it.
Yep. So we're gonna have to capitalize on the dolphin symbol. We're gonna have it to where when Aqua Miles and Rebgorn occupy water, they can't be targeted by other characters, and they start the game with a water marker, and you just have a free place the water marker in Aqua Miles and Rebgorn square. That's how that works. Because it's the fanboy era, and I'm gonna do it. Sorry, can't be targeted. Just get hit by rocks.
I like it. H4H had some amazing awards go out to some absolutely deserving members of our community. I'd even say so deserving that these people are essentially household names to HeroClix players that are involved in the game. If D-Generation Clix had their own annual awards, what would each of you want to consider for criteria to achieve such a title from the team? My biggest one would be creative builds.
Yeah, I want Try Hard. Definitely, we need an annual Try Hard award, and it's always gonna be a Bookwood.
The Bookwood Award.
Yeah, the Bookwood Award. That's what it is. It's the Golden Bookwood. That's what we need. We need to have the Bookwoods. There's Oscar.
we got a podcast idea here, boys.
The Bookwoods. It's happening this year after Worlds. We're having the Bookwoods.
D-Generation Clix is bringing you the Bookwoods.
Yep, the Golden Bookwood.
Can we just have a sculpt of him in the Magneto helmet?
Yes.
That was phenomenal.
That was actually great.
Yeah, get it 3D printed, and I'll get and we'll make it a legit. Maybe we'll throw it on our Patreon. And then people are like, oh man, we need to watch the Bookwoods.
If that's a thing, I'll sign up for the Patreon twice. I'll make my wife buy one.
Dan, do you have a category?
The Green Door Award.
What would that require?
I'm not sure yet. It's kind of just a mystery. It's like, you never know. I think it's going to be just an at-random award that you're like, wait, somebody got it and they were 16th? What?
You hand it out and they have to follow you behind the curtain, and if they don't, then they don't get it.
So I can find out what's behind the green door.
Pete, do you have one?
Man, so far we've had team builds, the Bookwoods, and the Green Door Award.
Oh no, the Bookwoods. We're gonna have a Green Door Award for the Bookwoods. Ooh, what if we have like Bookwood with the Magneto helmet through a green door as the actual award?
That sounds expensive to make.
Yeah. It'll be paper mache cutouts.
So we're getting some craft time with it too.
Yes.
I would say that one thing that Degeneration Clicks is unabashedly fans of is fun. So
Yeah.
I would definitely hand out awards for people that exhibit the parts of this community that we want to see, and that's people getting together with their friends, playing a game we all love, and helping to build and strengthen the community, so that going forward, HeroClix just becomes a bigger presence at all of these big cons and stuff. I
I'm
want
bringing
people to
the
look at our
booklets.
groups.
Yeah, we're handing
Yeah, I
out
want
booklets and rules.
I want people like coming to Adepticon, stopping at the tables and wanting to play and like see what it's all about. Like, how much interest do we get? Like, we had a new player on Monday, and he got into it from like Star Trek stuff.
Yeah.
He's just there soaking stuff in and taking it in, and like it's a great game. It's a fun format. You get to live out your comic battles. You get to throw in pieces like WWE. You get to break out some stuff from Star Trek, like cool undead properties. Like that's the stuff that we want to see.
Oh,
So the Degeneration Clicks Loves Fun Award.
and mine, Ryan, to stay on brand is favorite team that used the Prime. Has to be main force though. So that'll go with the green door. So
Because of the green ring.
yes, sir.
All right, bringing it together. Early prediction, hopes or wishes for Strange Tales as far as versions of Doctor Strange or hopeful legacy carded version of Doctor Strange from previous sets. Man, the biggest thing I'm looking forward to is Magic. I'm honestly way too excited for Lantern Legacy and even more so for X-Men 97. So it's hard to kind of think that far into advance, but I did see that Magic sculpt, so I'm really hoping she's good. And as far as legacy cards go, I'd like to see that ABPI Doctor Strange back, or the Venom Doctor Strange from SVAC.
I want the Secret Invasion Doctor Strange.
Wait, the ABPI Strange. He really wasn't that good without the Soul Gem though.
Exactly.
Well, no, that's why he's getting a legacy.
That's why I wanted him to get a legacy card.
Oh, okay. I was just trying to understand because I like remember that one specifically, and I wanted him to work, but I was like, man, even with the Soul Gem, you're okay.
No, it was a pretty cool sculpt. He was sitting like cross-legged with the cape holding him up, but all you really wanted was that soul gem. So I don't remember anyone really playing him, but it was a cool sculpt
dope
at the time.
Oh yeah, definitely dope sculpt.
Why'd you pick yours though, Miles?
Oh, I love the sculpt. And when it first came out, like Secret Invasion was one of my last sets before I took a break. But yeah, I just sent it there. Yeah, it's where he's got the astral projection sticking out behind him. I don't know, it's just classic Doctor Strange like pose.
I would take Sheriff Strange. We've gotten Legacy Jennifer Kale. We've gotten Legacy Maestro. Give us Legacy Sheriff Strange to continue with the Battle World stuff. And that was a great comic book run. I also really liked Strange the Earth's Defenders with the Magic Axe and that. I think he was from ADW, right? Is that
I don't remember
anybody
that one.
remembering that piece?
That one was a little older.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? The Prime Strange would be cool. Where Baron Mordo wore the Strange outfit with the blue mask, the Blue Mage Strange.
Yeah.
That would be pretty cool. Not just a Prime, but I think there was another sculpt where he wore the Blue Mage suit. Because yeah, that was a short-lived costume in the comics that was amazing.
As far as like a new Doctor Strange, I would love. So we got Clea Sorcerer Supreme. So I want Doctor Strange as the Harvester, as the flip side to, or the flip to that coin, or the other like side of that coin, because he's the Herald of Mistress Death. So that as a new figure would be very cool to get that because it's a very like specific version of Doctor Strange.
And then your budget is limitless. You have a time machine to borrow any wrestler in their prime. The venue is Madison Square Garden. You have to put on your Dream Cross era live event with each of the following: a women's Iron Man match, a 3-way tag team match, a tables, ladders, and chairs match with either 2 tag teams or 4 individual wrestlers, and then a main event for whatever title you like. So let's break it down individually. So the women's Iron Man match, with what the women are doing now, I think it's really hard to pair them with other eras. So after seeing Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair go at it in that triple threat match, I think they could probably have the best women's Iron Man match.
I'm gonna go crazy. Pete's gonna know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, like I said, a lot of the older like female wrestlers just weren't good. So I'm gonna have to go with Santina, Morella, and Hervina as my other.
That was terrible.
Oh man, Dan, do you got something?
I really wish I did, but I don't know enough of the like old wrestlers besides like I mean your classics like Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, like Macho Man Randy Savage. Like those are the guys I know like off the top of my head immediately, but I don't like have a favorite that I want to like pull forward and be like and put it in the garden. So
From any time, the fabulous Moolah, when she was dominating regions and everything else. And as much as I'm not a huge Charlotte Flair fan, that is two of the all-time great women wrestlers in a can't miss Iron Man match.
That's a good one.
Iron Woman match.
A 3-way tag team match. I could honestly watch the Edge and Christian, Hardys and Dudleys go again all the time.
yeah, I was gonna say for the tag team through it, like I feel like the Hardy Boys have put on a good show. They were always like good to watch during their prime, I would say.
Yeah, so we're gonna go real crazy with this, and it's gonna be the Young Bucks versus the Rockers versus the Rock and Roll Express.
Miles picked off two of my three.
I was gonna say, did Pete?
Man.
You're like right there on that.
Nah,
same
he
wavelength?
got two of the three. So I'll have to switch it up a little bit here.
No, go ahead. Who is your third?
Well, no, I was gonna say Rockers and Bucks, but I'm gonna go completely different here. I'm gonna go Hawk and Animal, the Legion of Doom. I'll go Demolition, and then I will throw in for
The Ascension.
some fun. What's it?
The Ascension.
It's I mean those are two brutal tag teams, so you need somebody to have like a little bit of a contrasting style. So I'll absolutely include the Rockers.
Yeah. No, yeah, because another thing I was thinking of too with that is like FTR with the Midnight Express too.
And
You know, to
like
really-
we left easy things on the table, like the Heart Foundation.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, come on, amazing.
Do you guys remember when it was really short-lived? It was the who's the dancer guy? I'm totally forgetting his name. The
So
ballroom
there's
dancer.
Alex Wright.
No, the ballroom dancer guy. Fandango. And
Oh yeah, okay.
who's the other guy that they tag teamed for a little bit? They actually had some really good
Tyler
matches.
Breeze.
Yes,
They
Tyler
were
Breeze.
hilarious.
They were awesome, and they had some
Breeze.
really, really good matches. And then they just got let go, and they really never got a big push. But they had some really solid matches.
Yeah.
So there's a Vincent K. McMahon story where someone asked him one time of why don't you like tag team wrestling, and he said, "I have to pay 4 guys to do 2 guys' job."
A tables, ladders, and chairs match with either 2 tag teams or 4 individual wrestlers. So I'll go with Kurt Angle, Chris Jericho, AJ Styles, and Edge.
Ooh, that's good.
No, I got to go with this is going to be the Midnight Express versus the FTR. Them in a nice ladder match because I'm not sure if FTR's done a lot of ladder matches, but like the Midnight Express were really known for the scaffold matches, so I think it'd work out really well with them. We say what it is. Like we could have like Eddie Guerrero in a team partner versus like Rey Mysterio. Let's have bring them back for custody of Dominic match, a ladder match.
Okay. I'd be down.
Dominic on a pole.
Yeah, exactly. This time, yeah, it's Dominic on a pole. Yep.
I would go tables, ladders, and chairs. I would have to pull in at least 2 ECW greats with Rob Van Dam and Sabu. I'd probably go with Edge because, I mean, that was just mind-blowing, those matches between them and the Dudley Boys.
Mm-hmm.
And for the 4th person, man, that's tough in a tables, ladders, and chairs. Dude, Penta does some wild spots. So that would be my final answer, would be Penta in that mess.
All right, and then the final one is then a main event for whatever title you like. So the wrestlers that I that were feuding when I really got into it was The Rock and Triple H. So I would honestly just go with that because that's what got me into it in the first place.
No, this is Tiger Mask and Dynamite Kid. In their prime, they're going to be main eventing it for the world title.
In their prime for the world title, it would be personally Kurt Angle versus Daniel Bryan.
And actually, yeah, since I can't, it'd have to be, because I can't use two of them. That's, Kurt Angle and, for sure, I'd still Kurt Angle for that. Kurt Angle and Dynamite Kid. Or actually, you know what, here, Chris Benoit versus Dynamite Kid for the world title. That's it.
I'm going to leave it alone and move on.
Well, no, there's history between the two.
Yeah.
That's not talking about the bad thing. I'm just talking about pure in-ring work. Like, that's legitimately, that's...
Yeah. That's why I chose. We got Angle versus Brock. We got Angle versus a ton of people. We never got a true Angle versus Bryan match. And I think that would have just been phenomenal.
Oh, that would have just tore up. Yeah, that would have been ridiculously good.
All right, then we have a couple of bonus questions from Anthony Barnstable. Did you guys win anything in the auctions? So I got a Kanto Phoenix Bystander, 2 of the Aquarium maps, 2 of the Phoenix Headquarters maps, and then the Spider-Verse unboxing haul.
Oh, nice. I got a Phoenix Bystander and the, is it Sailor Stream? Sailor Stream.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I missed out on the other maps. So
originally, I won each of the maps, a Phoenix Bystander, a Joker Fish, but then I lost all of those, and then I ended up with just a Phoenix Bystander.
You want a Joker Fish then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because I got to shut down Dolphin, because if anyone's going to play Dolphin, it's going to be me.
You know what? That's on brand, Miles. I like it.
Dan, did you get anything in the auction?
I did not participate. I just didn't have a lot of extra money to throw at it. Like I said, I'm not a part of Auxit. I don't have an Auxit account, but would have been quickly outbid on things, which is totally fine. I'd rather the charity raise more money than less money. So.
Oh, there was plenty of things that I didn't have money for that I just popped it up.
Very generous of you.
Yeah.
That would have made me too nervous. I would have been like, "Oh, I'm gonna win this," and then I'm like, "Well."
Oh no, yeah, no. There's a few where I'm like, "Oh crap!" But then with all the mistakes they were making, I'm like, "Oh, my phone had a bug. I didn't mean to hit that. I didn't know. I don't know why it said 1,000. It was supposed to say 100." I was gonna use that argument.
That's valid. All right, and then Anthony's last question of the night: who was 27th place and second to last place? And why am I even bothering to ask about 2 positions that sound so seemingly random? Dan, do you know what's behind this one?
Wait. Which event was it?
He does not say.
It has to be silver.
Was it silver? Okay.
So
there was no, it wasn't silver. I'm pretty sure it was Scott Porter versus the World. I'm pretty sure this was Porter versus the World. Yes. So hold on momentarily here, because there was a specific reason. So, where is it? Because there was trophies awarded to these 2 gentlemen that finished in 27th and second to last.
So 109.
I don't know, because there was drops. We were accounting for people dropping. So if you dropped, you were not counted as.
Oh, okay. All right. So
you had to play it out.
Devin Grams.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that guy's a trooper, going 0-5 and just still going for it. Like, kudos for sure.
Exactly. And then 27th was that was or sorry, so that was, who was 27th?
More Queen Holmes.
Sherlock's brother.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So that was really cool to see, like, a random. So thank you, Scott Crampton, for putting out trophies for 27th. It was Joaquin Holmes was 27th.
Oh, so he legitimately had like a 27th place trophy made. That is amazing.
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was very cool, very very fun. I really enjoyed the. I mean, as you said, I think Crampton was like, "Hey, what if you was it 12th place in New Orleans, Redmond? I can't remember what he put out for, or ninth place." I
I
can't
thought it
remember what
was
it was.
10th because there was like something where
10th.
like 10 was a very cheap trophy to get because there's a lot of them or
Yeah.
something like that.
Oh no, because of the 10-year work anniversaries, so you
Yeah.
can get them printed for cheap.
Oh yes.
All right, and then last here we have from John Michael DiGiulio. What more must I do to put some respect on Harley Quinn's name? Yeah, I went in the to the meta, and I don't even see that she cracked the top 100. I do not get it. She is crazy good and still not getting the play she deserves.
John, if you're listening to this, I'm glad you made it back safe. I know you were driving late because you decided to go all the way to second place in silver. So congratulations on your awesome run, sir.
Yeah, awesome run.
Yeah, all you can do is just do what you got to do. I mean, there's plenty of people that have tried to put respect on figures' names. Redman has done it with Madam Webman, and he's been trying to do it with Prime Blue Beetle. It just puts work. I had the same thing with Chase Torch, but Chase Torch is nowhere near the level of Harley, for sure.
She should be on way more
Everything's
builds.
just so broken now that like even like Hidari Yao, like they're just so underplayed because there's more things people want to play as efficiently and easier to play. And I think like you need to really know what you're doing with her because you want to set up those +1 attacks.
Which is wild considering that she's like so efficient as a ranged attacker.
Yeah, no, but they'd rather play easy to pilot teams.
No, I
instead
mean,
of getting their teams in position. Yeah,
yeah, I get that.
you should have respect. If people don't think she's good, they're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Not even the top 100 though.
That's insane.
All right, that's gonna wrap it up here. Miles, any final thoughts?
No. Look forward to Worlds, and I got a monthly coming up next month. It's gonna be Scientist, so I'm working on getting a tripod set up so I can try and get as many angles as possible for that to be streamed and or recorded. So
sweet.
Dan can give you plenty of information about being a tripod. He's dealt with it his whole life.
I'm already in his DMs.
H4H was amazing. It's everything you think it is and more. And I hope more people come next year, honestly. Just to see like what it is firsthand, because like I've only experienced it secondhand, like through other people. Like actually going, it's so different. And I'd like to thank the judge staff for having me on. I really appreciate it. It was I feel very lucky to be able to be a part of the judge staff, and hopefully they'll have me again next year if they want me. So it was just great, and I'm really sad. I'm honestly like, it was a long stretch, but I'm honestly sad that it's already over.
My final thoughts are great job by the community. I unfortunately could not make it down there, but it's awesome to see that year after year they are pushing the limits of giving to a very worthy cause. Dan, thanks for all your hard work, and thanks for everybody that went down there and committed their time and dollars to making it a great event and making this. I always say like this is one of the times a year where I'm a very proud member of the community to participate in HeroClix for Huntington's.
I'm very sad that I missed out on the weekend. I'll definitely be there next year. I'm not going to miss it again. But this weekend is a wrap, so we're going to start looking forward to Origins in about a month. So thanks for listening, and see you next time.
And if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for ya!
Click it!
I'm solar. La 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 la. I'm solar.
Like a fire rocket.
Guys, I can tell you officially on air right now, this is the last year we will be using Oxide.